This is a true crime discussions channel. We speculate. This is all just speculation. Because it's true crime, it's for mature audiences only. There will be no children allowed, no exceptions. Everything on this channel falls under fair use. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share. It's free.
Hello, happy Sunday, everyone. It's so good to see you here today, this here day right here. Let me say hey to y'all. Artemis Prime, good to see you. My Nightbots, good to see you. Michelle, Bad Girl, Hio, LJ, Irene, Matilda Marie, Carolina, Queen Olive, Heather, Hannah UK, Heather Wells, Miss Kimmy, Chloe Moon. Good to see you. Good to see you. Let me see. Lori Green, Southern Cats, retired, not bored. Good to see you. Manda, good to see you. Jenny Jen. Heather Wells said, I wonder if that Band-Aid shows in one image on a blanket is from Stefan Jack V's Chases run-in, or does it have another's DNA on it? If that video at the church shows a person wearing shorts, then it isn't Maddie because she was dressed in jeans, and I can't see Jen Soto wearing shorts. Remember, Maddie wore shorts on Monday. And another thing, Maddie would have seen her mom's car in the pickup line, I presume, as Jen Soto was first in line. I agree with all of that. You have to let me know what you were getting at. What's up? LJ, Miss Sarah, good to see y'all. Irene said, God bless all the missing children and help them home. We can only hope, right? Okay, so we are continuing to deep dive the information that the state attorney's office released. What is the deal? What are they trying to tell us? That's not the one I want. Hold on, it's going to echo because I'm trying to set up a poll. Let me pull up my other one. Hold on. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. There. Okay. Now I've got that muted and paused so I can set that poll up. And we're going to go to this other one. Yes, that's the one we want. Hold on a minute. Let me do this poll real quick, and then we will talk about what we know so far. I'm just asking if y'all hit the thumbs up as a friendly reminder to help us get out in the algorithm. Okay, now that's done. Just a friendly reminder to remember to hit the thumbs up to help us get into the algorithm. Alrighty, Roo. So far, Bazard and a lot of us think Jen is lying, and they're going to possibly charge Jen. Jen says she heard Maddie getting ready that Monday morning and that she slept with her stepdad. Stefan references himself as stepdad or dad of sorts. Thought of or thinks of at me as a dad. He messed up and said thought of past tense and then corrected it as thinks of me as a dad. Phone was collected legally. He was asked several times about downloading his phone. He agreed. Did she ever get into the back seat? Was she asleep the entire time? Is what the cops asked him. Violent crimes unit was notified. They were notified that violent crimes was taking over. They referenced Jen as wife. Friday, she went over to grandma's and slept, not Wednesday. And Stefan also said Jen was asleep, no blood appointment. And grandma said that Jen called 2 of Maddie's friends, not just the one we know as Bestie. Now we're going to go back, hey, Pink Banjo, to the CSAM interview, and we're going to listen to that and see what it is that we know now that we didn't know before. And while I get that started, I'm going to shut the door because I'm sure y'all can hear Mr. Speculating's TV, and I'm sure that will get annoying. Basil is already in here. Hold on a minute. Aw. Jenny Jen, what are you saying? Hold on. I think it's just discovery being given to the defense attorneys. You know, I was thinking about you saying that, and it's a very good possibility. Why would they release that? Like, why would they not make us FOIA that? Because we had to FOIA anything else. Why would they just say, you know, here you go, you can have this. Here's this information. You can just have it now. Like, I don't understand why we wouldn't have to also FOIA that. You know what I mean? Let me know what you think. I hope everything's okay. I see that she's sending you hugs. I hope everything's okay. Kimberly. Thank you, Kimberly. That was so sweet. Good to see you. Cindy from sunny South Florida. It's good to see you. All right. I'm going to mute, get this started. We're going to listen and see what we hear now that we did not hear before and try to speculate on what it means. And I'm going to shut that door. All right.
I'd have to check. I do not know. I've been out here. Doing okay? Holding up all right? No, I know it's not. Let's go see where he's at.
Yeah, he should be ready. I just gotta. I need to test that connection.
Which one?
The USB connection. more voice side of things than what
Can I pet that dog? Can I pet that dog? Hey, the real Gemini. They're still walking in. That's why it's so low, but I did turn it up. Scratch the paint. Indie girl, good to see y'all. Can I pet that dog? Free Gaza, free Palestine. Good to see you.
So like I told you, my name is Detective Police of the Sheriff's Office. This is
Detective Acosta.
your correct? Your mom? Okay. And then dad lives in Texas, I'm assuming? Is that what I understand?
Yes, but he's actually on his way to Florida.
Okay. How long have you and Stephen been together?
Stefan and I have been
I'm sorry,
together.
Stefan.
It's okay. On and off for about 7 years.
7 years.
Blessed on purpose. It's good to see you. Blessed on purpose. Said the 3% that said nope, not going to is rude. It is. But if you don't have haters, you ain't made it yet. Number one. And number two, for it to only be 3%. I mean, I know it just started, but that's actually pretty good. We have a pretty good rate. We don't have a lot of trolls. My mods are really good, but a lot of the interaction on this channel is positive, and I do appreciate that. We do have a great group over here, and I love our Speculating family. I put it there for a reason, though. So, I mean, I put it there to kind of laugh at. Hey, Miss King of Anything, good to see you. Bogart said, ew. That's where this comes from. That's what we can tell them right here, this clip.
Ugh. Brother, ugh. What's that? What's that, brother?
Ew. Okay, I'm done playing. Let's get to it.
7 years?
Yeah.
Okay. And you guys still currently live together?
No. He recently moved back down in December to Northport, Florida.
Okay.
His dad had offered him a job, but it fell through.
Okay.
So he's kind of stuck down there until we can financially afford to bring him back home.
Gotcha.
We are waiting for. He used to work at Disney.
Okay. What did you do at Disney?
He worked in attractions at Epcot.
Okay.
And
what was the job that his dad was trying to get him? Do you know?
It was like construction manager or like an assistant construction manager or project manager, something like that, like an apprenticeship kind of thing.
Okay.
That fell through. So we were waiting we have to wait a specific amount of time for you to reapply to Disney again.
Okay.
From when you resigned.
Right.
So we're waiting for that time for him to reapply again so that he can come back up here.
Okay.
Jenny Jen said, if most of these audios were already paid for, I don't see why they would have creators pay again just for small bits that are now not redacted. That's a good point, but they make you pay for everything. Everything. So I'm just like, because if they can make money off of anything, they're going to. And if they know, like I was planning on FOIAing the discovery documents, if I could, and they know that people will, and they know people will pay for it. So they're going to try to make that money anyway, regardless. Like, so, I mean, yeah, that, like I said, that all of those things could be true. It could be that, yes, it was released because it's part of discovery. I mean, they were like, we're not going to make them pay for this information. But I feel like there's something more to it, but I can definitely see your point of view and say that it's very possible and, agree with it. I just feel like there's more to it. I mean, especially knowing that they could make money off of this. Like, why wouldn't they? Even if it wasn't much, Hey, Chrissy Knows It All. Chrissy Knows It All said, no, his dad was done paying a man of 37 years old rent. They were both bums. Heather said, some people distrust button pushing on computers in case they get humbugged and get emails. That's interesting. I did hear that there's some emails going around asking for people to click links or something. So definitely be careful with that. I sent somebody like links to a video and then links to a cookbook I bought, and they're probably like, oh my God, it's spam. Kind of hurt my feelings because I'm like, no, it wasn't spam. So I'm hoping they know, but I don't know. It doesn't matter. The real Gemini said, we ain't speculating, allegedly speculating. Hey, mommy ball.
So how often does he stay at
okay.
the apartment with you guys?
So he was living with us up until December.
Okay.
And then he's visited us like since December twice or three times since then.
And how long does he usually stay for?
Anywhere from a few days to a week.
Okay. And then he goes back down there?
Yeah.
Okay. And then I'm assuming he stays with his dad when he goes down there?
Yeah.
Okay. How long has he been in town recently? He
got into town Sunday evening.
This past Sunday?
Yeah.
Okay. And he was staying with you?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And then how is his relationship?
I would think super great. He treats her as his own child. He always has.
Okay.
They're very similar. They're both very childish. Like he loves board games, video games, arts and crafts, all that stuff.
Okay.
I'm kind of a watcher.
What do you mean?
Like I won't play the games. I'll watch them play the games.
Oh,
I'll
okay.
be
I see what
part
you're
of
saying.
it that way.
Yeah.
But he's more involved with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
That term that's always bothered us from the beginning, that I'm a watcher. What does that mean, Jen? What are you watching? What's the watcher thing about? Hey, Auntie Rue. Happy Sunday. Allegedly Speculating crew is excited to see all the folks fighting for justice on a Sunday. Yes. Yeah, it's going around. It's sad. It is sad. I don't understand why people would do stuff like that. Like, dang. Elizabeth, good to see you. Said, I don't understand why you had to pay for it. Aren't we the people supposed to be able to know what's going on in our court system? So why do you have to pay for it? Good question. The government is going to make money any way they can. It would be my thought process on that. Linda said, if Jennifer didn't love Stefan, she would not have Stefan around. Jennifer was definitely trying to save Stefan. I think after a while, with being in jail for a while, he might roll on Jen. That will be interesting. I think he's already trying to, considering the emails that his mama sent him talking about you need to look at it as life or death, because it is. I think she's trying to tell him to roll on Jen. The real Gemini said she gives me the creeps with that. Right. Kimberly said watcher and more of a shutterbug. Yep, that's what he said. We all know what she was watching. Lord, I hope not. Lord, I hope not. Hey, Matilda Marie. Yeah, that watcher comment is a red flag. It certainly is.
Yeah, they're pretty great.
Okay. Do they ever go off on their own? Like you kind of do your thing and the two of them do stuff together?
Hardly ever.
Hardly ever?
It's for the most part, it's the three of us doing something.
Gotcha. And then when he stays, does he sleep with you, sleep on a couch, separate bedroom? What's like the sleeping arrangements like?
It depends. For the most part, he would sleep upstairs in the guest room and me would sleep in my bedroom downstairs.
Okay.
Sometimes he would come sleep in the bed, all three of us together.
Okay.
And rarely ever would I send them upstairs to go sleep alone away from me because I need a good night's sleep. Because if we sleep all the three of us together,
oh, I can only imagine.
It's a king bed, but like my kid karates, like she just.
Well, she's she's not a small baby anymore.
No, she's not. So it's just three humans on a bed is really uncomfortable, really tight.
About how often they would go, you would send them off on their own?
I would say honestly, somewhere between, I'm going to say less than 5 times has this ever happened, right?
That's
it
fine.
hasn't been that.
And this is over the course of him visiting back and forth, correct?
You mean the sleeping arrangements
Yeah.
alone?
Yeah.
No, that was including him living with us.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
Hardly ever would I send them upstairs because I had that rule that she couldn't sleep alone with him. That's just me. I'm just
Right.
very.
And then you said you and Stefan have been together for about 5 to 7 years?
7 years, yeah.
7 years, okay.
A lot of you have asked what made her make that rule. Why make the rule? What happened? Something had to happen for you to make a rule that there was no sleepovers. And you say that you didn't like them sleeping together, but you let it happen anyway. I've never understood that either. Hey, Genevieve. Genevieve said she's a groomer. Again, I hope not. I saw somebody else came in. Paola? And Toxic. Good to see you both. Unless it's a school night. She's sitting in her bedroom number 4. Right. Miss King of Anything said, I do understand that it does take money to redact what needs to be, so I can see charging someone, but not each and every time. Right. They don't each and every time, but if it's something, I guess it's like if something new gets released, or if you want something, like the first person to get it usually has to pay for it. But then after that, if you ask for it, they usually don't make you pay for it again. So in order to be a creator that breaks something, you usually have to pay for whatever you broke. And then to be a creator that talks about, like, for instance, my body cam footage that I released that nobody else had at the time of Jennifer Soto, the night that Madeline went missing, I had to pay for. But then, like, after I put it out, and Plunder, Guilty of Crime, Strategic Eyes, and things like that, when they were aware that I had put it out, they could go and request it, and they would not have to pay for it. I don't know. I don't think that anybody paid for these. That's why it's weird for me. Hey, Angela, it's like they wanted this information out. Why? Voices, Carrie, good to see you. She makes me so mad. I don't believe her acting so innocent. She lies about so much stuff. She does. And then, hey, Mrs. O. Lastly, Genevieve says she's trying to convince the investigator that there's a moral balance, so she doesn't seem like a facilitator. That's a good point. I think so. Trying to convince the investigator and herself, because when you say something out loud like that and you hear it, it just doesn't sound right. And I'm sure she picked up on that as well.
Okay. So you're pretty familiar with him?
Yeah.
Okay. Whose hand does that look like to you?
I would say that's Stefan's.
Is that Stefan's hand?
Yeah, I would think so.
Okay. So you and Stefan, have you guys been sexually intimate before in the past?
Yes.
So you're aware of what, like, his penis looks like and things like that, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Does this look like Stefan's penis to you?
No.
No. Okay. What about that?
Possibly, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're thinking that's his penis?
Might be.
Okay.
If anything, it's not even the penis I'm recognizing, it's the things around it.
So it's the things around it that make you believe it's his penis?
Yeah.
Okay. So we have these images, and unfortunately, over the last maybe 2 or 3 years, he's been doing stuff with oral sex, vaginal sex, and things like that.
What makes you guys?
We have photos.
Okay.
We have his phone. We were able to get into his phone. And there are some very, very unfortunate graphic pictures of him conducting various sexual acts with. I wish I could tell you this was all a made-up story, but it's not.
Her reaction's not normal at all.
Did you ever suspect anything like this? No? You okay? Okay. Can I get you anything?
Maybe some water.
Some water? I'll get some water if you want to. Yeah.
Hey, nicely done. So, I mean, to be fair, she could be in a little bit of shock asking for water, but she's not upset. She doesn't cry. It's weird to me that you cannot identify the member of the man that you have been with for 7 years, even if you're not sleeping together currently. The only way she could identify his member is from the items that were around it in the background. And if it's so profound that there's a pink mark on it that goes approximately a quarter of the length down the member, and there's freckles or something, some kind of black mark that you can see clearly in the photos, why is it that Jennifer's not able to identify it? She's able to identify it from the things that were in the background, not the member. But you were with this man for 7 years. How is that? Like, I mean, I don't understand that. I could identify the member. So of my significant other, like from the member, like, you know what I mean? Like you see, you know what it looks like if you're with somebody, even if they weren't sleeping together for the past year, they've been together for 7 years. And I'm assuming we're sexually intimate at some point. So how is it that you can't identify it? Why is it because you never slept with him? And if you never slept with him, why have you been with him for 7 years? Is it because he wasn't really with you? I mean, I'm just speculating. Let me make that clear. But it's weird to me. Angela said shocked and nervous about getting caught. Guilty of crime said the whispering is lying. I can call it a penis, but I say member. She's in shock for one reason. He was caught and both of them thought they were safe. I think so. I could see that for sure, Lori. Mrs. O said, in my opinion, Stefan Stern started way before 2022. 2022 is when he started documenting the abuse. Right. We don't know. I mean, I'm sure he had a different phone before then. What's on that? Maybe a different Google account. What's on that? Genevieve said, I would not be so calm. I would have been storming out the door and going out to his car where he was driving in the parking lot while she was being interviewed. I think he was in another room, but yeah, you wouldn't have been able to keep me calm at all. Like, you would have to tase me because I'm getting that mother, like, especially if I know he's in the same building as me. Yeah, it's going to take several of you to stop me. Just saying.
How are you feeling right now?
Me too, Sue Joy.
Is this a surprise?
Is there photos of her?
Mm-hmm. Yes. So you know how we have his phone? Obviously, that's how we were able to find the photos in there.
I don't want to believe that this is true. Can I see some of that evidence?
What makes you believe that it's not?
I thought I knew him well enough.
You said you thought you knew him well enough?
So our goal, we want to find her. Can you think of anything of where Stefan would take her? Did they have any special hangout spots? Did they have any places that they would do together while you were at work or you had other things going on in your life?
The only place they would go is hang out at home. There's no place I can think of that they've gone outside. I mean, they've gone shopping.
So I do want to point out one thing, actually, too, now that I've highlighted the Nightbot. One of my mods dropped, if the subject matter is triggering, please feel free to leave and come back another time. Protect your peace. Just a general announcement. Guilty of crime was just saying when she's whispering, she's lying. And I do want to reiterate on that. When she talks about Stefan, she gets excited. She gets loud. You can hear excitement in her voice. But during these times, she's talking real low. It's like when a child gets in trouble and they start talking real low and they don't want to tell you what they've done. That's what it reminds me of. Now, to be fair, because I look at things from all perspectives and try to be fair across the board, could she be like talking low because she's in shock or like disbelief? Yeah, but when you add the context of her conversation and how she says the Woody Allen comment and the sexual abuse is not evil, but murder is, when you take all that into consideration, I feel that it's more so of the, like a child getting caught, talking real low, like, not wanting to tell you what they've done. That's what it looks like to me. That's my speculation. Carolina said, I thought that's where you went to see his pee-pee. He posted the entire thing on his Patreon. That's the only place I know had him nude. I guess it's elsewhere too. I don't know. I haven't posted him nude on my Patreon. I've got everything. I've got a bunch of this stuff up there, but I haven't done that one yet. I'm going to try to put it on there, but right now the 5-hour file is too big. So I've got to cut out the 3 hours where he's just sitting there. Elizabeth said, remember, she wanted to live with him as a companion so they could raise Maddie together. Yes, she did. But you don't trust men. Your mother told you not to trust men. You were sexually assaulted, so therefore you don't even like men, supposedly. And you want to have him around to help you raise Maddie, even though he has no income. He doesn't work. He's a man child. He's always worried about himself. Why do you want him there? What is he helping you do exactly? I would love to know.
Like Target before.
Okay. But anywhere else that you can think of? What are you thinking about right now?
How this can be true? How I missed the signs?
What signs are you saying you missed?
No, like I'm just saying, if there were any signs, I didn't see any.
Right. Like these aren't. I'm not telling you like these aren't just Google images that we found. Like these are actual images, and I don't want you to see images of your daughter like that. I don't. But this investigation has taken us down this road. So wherever you think can be right now, we want to know so we can go get her safely.
Of course, I just have no idea.
Did Stefan ever take her back down to Newport Richie?
Newport, Florida.
Newport, Florida. I'm sorry.
Alone, no.
Alone? You guys would go together?
Yeah. Or
Something that I'm just noticing now as I'm listening to this, she doesn't even try to take time to think. Like, if they were telling me this, I would be like, okay, hold on a minute. Let me think about places we've been. Where have we gone? Where could he have possibly taken her? Where, I mean, obviously you might think of a wooded area or something, but she doesn't even take time to think about it. She's just like automatically, I have no idea. I have no idea. Like, I don't know. That's kind of weird to me that you didn't even take time to try to think of a place. Well, maybe here or maybe here or maybe here. Like, it's just all the time, every single time. I have no idea. I have no idea. You're not even attempting to try to think of somewhere that maybe he could have put her. Y'all are saying some wonderful things, like some good speculations and observations in chat. I'm going to try to read them when I can, as much as I can. Sue Joy said, don't understand her lack of 20 questions and not even an audible gasp. Being quiet is not normal after being told what he has done. Absolutely. Cozy said, remember, we are judging her considering everything, not just one thing. Exactly. Nicely Done says, she seems like she's always trying to see how much detectives know, in my opinion. Yep, I definitely think she's fishing. Just my opinion. She's wondering if she's caught in any of them. I think that's a possibility too, Kimberly. Lori Green said, allegedly, you're right. You wouldn't let your daughter sleep with a grown man when Jen was supposedly had been a victim herself. That shows me she's a sicko. Yeah, I don't know. When you're a victim of sexual assault, you look at things a lot differently. So like a man wanting to sleep in bed with a child would be like the biggest red flag ever to me. I think to most people, regardless of whether you've been assaulted or not. And if you have, I do apologize. I'm so sorry that anybody ever had to go through that. But, it's crazy, her thought process and her actions. I mean, the saying goes, actions speak louder than words. And that's what I'm judging on. Not to be mean to her or anything. Angela said, I watch every video about Maddie on every channel. I get the most out of this channel. Thank you. Oh, that was so sweet. Well, thank you for being part of our Speculating family. How very sweet.
or I would drive down with, and we would just hang out.
Okay. So when Stefan would not stay at the house with you guys, where else would he stay?
In his apartment in his house in Northport, Florida. That's it.
But when he would visit here, he would always stay in your house. He would never go get a hotel or stay at a friend's house or anything like that.
No, stay at our place.
Okay. Why did he go to Newport, Florida this morning?
This morning?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, okay. I'm just curious. I heard a rumor that he possibly went down there.
No.
I don't know. Them is maybe lost in translation.
No, he didn't. We were.
When the cops say, I heard a rumor that he may have went down there, it's not a rumor. He really did. Genevieve said, in the beginning, I was thinking that maybe she was just self-absorbed woman and actually had no idea. Now I see a lot more leaning towards the den mother actions discovered in other documented cases is what I'm going to think you're saying or assume. Yeah, I thought that too. In the beginning, I was like, well, maybe she just really was just not aware. But as I started listening more and more, it didn't make sense. We've even tried to put it together that Jen Soto did not know. Like, we run the scenario that, okay, let's say that she didn't know, like 100%. Let's try to make this work and say that Jen had no idea and figure out if we can make it work. And we could not make it work. The one thing I remember standing out the most was, she puts Madeline in the trunk of her vehicle. Like, even if you are told, okay, your daughter's deceased and your boyfriend did it, okay, then you're going to run back through the last day that you saw her, okay, and you're going to say, okay, well, I never saw her body. Where would she have been? And you go to, she was in the car because the police have told you she was in the car the morning that Stefan took her to school, and then he came home and you left for the blood appointment. You didn't see her, so you would assume that she was in the trunk. And then that he went back out because when he got a flat tire. I would assume that's when he put her body wherever he put it, because that's how he got the flat tire. Like, if I'm running it in my head. So that puts her in the trunk of Stefan's car because she had to be somewhere when I came out in my blood appointment and I did not see her in the car. And then he got the flat tire. Well, how did he get the flat tire? Probably putting the body in a wooded area. He comes back. I go to school that afternoon. I check for Maddie and she's gone. And then the police get involved. She doesn't run it that way. She puts Maddie in the trunk of her car. She says, then he put her in the trunk of my car and all of that when they run that scenario with her. And we know that she was in the trunk or she could have possibly been in the trunk of Jen's car or something to that effect, because the dogs hit on the back of Jen's car. At no point in running a scenario like that would you have ever, it doesn't make sense to put her in the trunk of Jen's car at all whatsoever. So why did you do that unless you already knew? That was the one thing that sticks out to me the most from where we ran our scenarios, trying to see if we could make it work, that Jen had no idea. Hey, Edith.
You're in the hotel. If anything, he stepped out to go get some Wawa.
Okay.
And then came back.
But how long was he gone for?
Um,
Does he have a new phone since we have his, or?
I think his dad may have handed him a new phone.
Okay, do you know the phone number to that new phone?
No.
Okay. What's his dad do?
Works in real estate. I think he's a broker.
So look, we just need any information. Any.
No, I know, but there's nothing I can give you. There's nothing I can.
Did you communicate with Stefan on the new phone with your phone? No.
Hey, everyone coming in. Thank you for being here.
I just want to. I believe you. I want to believe you, but I won't believe you until I see actual images of my child.
Are you sure you want to see that? I'll go get it. Are you sure you want to see that?
Absolutely.
And as a parent, take my word of advice. I wouldn't, blow smoke up your butt and tell you, that's a fake picture. I wouldn't do that to you. I wouldn't. I'm going to be dead honest with you. I'll be more than happy to show you those images. But I know as a parent, I don't know if I would want to see those. But if you want to see them, that's your own prerogative.
Can you tell me what's being done in the photos?
She has a penis in her mouth.
No mother would ever want to see that. Ever. Like, you don't got to tell me. If you tell me that's going on, I'm going after somebody. I'm going for blood. Genevieve said, hold the damn phone a minute. Did he carry her out to where she was found, or did Jen move her after he came back home and she left for school to move her from where he actually dumped her the first time? So I would say no, because they have him on the traffic cameras, driving. Like, they have him in the 1,000-page discovery document. They have him driving back and forth on the traffic cameras. Each time he went out there, each time he came back, He is alone in the car. He does take Jen's car out that night, the second night that he's free. But it is him alone in the car. And I think it's verified because he drove by an accident or something. It says something about an accident, like he drove past it. And that was another way that they verified that it was just him. I saw Supero came in and said you were thumbs up number 88. I really appreciate that. Heather said count how many times she mentions Stefan Stern's name and then count how many times she says Maddie's name. Good point. Because it's not going to be anywhere near the same. Hetty Lamar, good to see you. Pisces said, just wanted to say thank you to whoever gifted me last night. I wasn't even on last night and got notified. Well, that's so sweet. I'm glad you were gifted. That's so awesome. Thank you for saying thank you. And lastly, Angela Moore said, I'd be flipping out. My child is missing. You are showing me pics of PPs. I'd be like, what the fuck? Flipping tables. Right. Me too. And that's a normal reaction. Not talking real low and asking to see more photos. I don't want to see it. You ain't got to show me. You can just tell me. I'm going for blood. Hey, Rachel.
And that picture that you said that the stuff identified that Stefan's penis around her, I zoomed in on that photo because in that picture has a penis in her mouth. You need any more water? Are you okay?
I literally thought I was coming here for the press conference, but this is not what we're here for.
I know. And it's unfortunate that, these are the details that we found, but I think it's very important now that we kind of sit back, evaluate everything, and kind of think every step of the way where Stefan has been with him in the past, where he can be right now, because at the end of the day, we want to go get her.
Yeah, of course. It's just if I knew anything, I would tell you. I just have no fucking idea where you could be.
So I know
she
that.
Could be.
Say again, I'm sorry.
Or any idea where she could be. I said they, but
yeah,
he's here. Dude, was there any?
She's just automatically, like, she's breathing hard. I think she's in panic mode, but I don't think it's for the reason that she should be. And she again, is not even trying to help them come up with any areas. She's just automatically, I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know. I wish I could help you. I don't know. Like, you're not even attempting to help. Overprotected, thank you so very much for the super sticker. That says bravo, and it's got a little fox or something, a cat. It's really cute. Thank you so much for that. That was so very sweet and supportive of you. I really appreciate that. That was so sweet. Hi, Sandra said, thank you, Guilty of Crime, and Grish and Gavin for what you do to keep Maddie's case out there. Yes, thank you. Blue Sapphire says, Stearns and Soto's interviews, Jen talks about the leash, claiming she had to help Stearns fumbling with the dog. He never mentions it. Did they use the leash not on the dog? So there is, I think it's a theory right now. I don't know if it's actually been, I think it's been verified. But he did use a leash to hold Maddie's body in place, even though, per what we've heard from what's in the photos of him driving around that morning, she's leaned over the center console in a weird position with her mouth agape. Now, the car that Stefan drives was used as the poodle ambulance by his father. So there is a purple leash in the back seat on the driver's side, and then there's a black leash in the front passenger seat. I do not know if they were there or if he got them from when he supposedly walked the dog that morning. I don't, they are there now. I don't know how they got there. I don't know if they were in the vehicle because it was the poodle ambulance or if he took it from the dog. I don't know. It is very weird that he got up to walk that dog for the first time ever in his life that morning. A lot of things happened that morning that had never happened before. And he can disappear all hours of the night and come back with a donut on the car and master reset his phone, and Jen still finds nothing wrong with it. Please make that make sense. Genevieve said the clothing in the photos on the screen, what is the actual reference? So these photos were in the most recent file drop with these audios that were redacted that have now been unredacted. These are items that they are testing. When you see that brown paper behind it, that's paper they lay items on to do DNA testing. So the items that you see with the brown background, that's items they're laying out to test for DNA. And if you remember, they said that they sent pictures of Madeline being abused to the Orange County Sheriff's Office, who was simultaneously performing a search of the house, and they had them get specific clothing items that Maddie was wearing when she was abused and that Stefan was wearing when he abused her. So all of these clothes could be what she was wearing in those photos and videos. At least some of them are. All of them could be, all of them might not be, but we know that some of them definitely are.
The video footage that was caught at the church, what exactly was seen? I've heard from other people, but I just...
Do you know much?
It looked like someone around stage that walked by, but it's inconclusive whether it was or not. Right. It was too grainy. The video was not, you couldn't determine who it was in the video, pretty much. So we don't know that she walked by that church. So the last person that saw it was Stefan.
Yeah. So we want to know, because he's the last person to see her. He claims to have dropped her off at this church before school. Unfortunately,
close to the church.
Close to the church. You know, unfortunately, we know she doesn't go to school that day. You try and go pick her up. What did, after Stefan dropped her off, did he come back home? About how long was he gone for during drop off?
I'm gonna say from 8:30 to like 10:15, because around 10:15 or 10:20 is when I got a phone call stating that he got home. He had gone.
So far, I think all of what we've heard was in the first interview. That's why I haven't written anything down. Genevieve said, had these items been laundered or were they in the dirty clothes? That would determine the most recent actions of SA. What I can tell you is they do have pictures of clothes in the laundry basket. The shirt she's wearing, there's a shirt in these pictures that says "It's my birthday" and it has the bottom like redacted. So I'm assuming it says Maddie or the date. And then we know that from the file drop where they give us descriptions of the photos and what's being done in the photos and the videos and things like that, they reference Stefan wearing the Deadpool shirt that he was wearing that morning when he disposed of Maddie's body. Considering the birthday shirt is there and it was just her birthday party that night. I know it wasn't her actual birthday and she could have worn it on her birthday, but I think she wore it that night to go to bed. And then the red Deadpool shirt that nobody ever finds, I think that she was assaulted the night that he came. And I think she was wearing the birthday shirt, and I think he was wearing the red Deadpool shirt that still I've never seen a picture of. They could have it, they might not, I don't know, but I've never seen it. And when I saw that they were referencing him wearing that red Deadpool shirt in some of the photos where she's being abused, that made me think that he wore it the night he abused her. Hearts my face forever. Good to see you. Said, my guess is Jen was scared because they likely didn't have the tripods for the first CSAM and someone was holding the camera. That's a possibility. Michelle said, Lori Green, we can't make it make sense. If one of my cats were missing, I would not be able to eat or sleep, especially the very first night, not even going and looking for her. I would be out searching. Right. It's weird to me that Jen takes her meds and goes to sleep. And when the police show up at her door, she doesn't even ask for an update. Have you found Maddie? Have you seen Maddie? When we see them go to her sister's house, that's the first thing they ask. Do you know where Maddie is? Have you seen her? Have you found out anything? They ask Jen, have you heard from Maddie? And she's like, no, haven't. No questions for them at all.
Gone to the vape shop,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know if they weren't open or
Hey,
not
it's
yet.
me.
Mm-hmm.
So he left
Okay.
and then hung out around the house and waited till I got back for my doctor's appointment.
So he came back home.
Yeah, he did come back home.
Okay.
He grabbed his phone and called me from the house at that point. He had let me know that he accidentally left his phone. He was waiting for the vape store to open, but they never opened, or something like that. And then he went back home just to give give it time, and then he went back out later.
Okay. So from 8:30 to 10:15, that's when he's saying the vape shop was closed and he came back home?
I think so. That's something. I mean, I know he was killing time. He does this. He'll just like to aimlessly drive around to kill time. I believe him when he says that he was killing time. Or at least I did believe him.
What's like usually how long does it take to go do her drop off and come back?
Like 45 minutes.
Okay. So
45, 50 minutes.
So give or take an hour.
Yeah.
So he should have been back home by like 9:30-ish.
Yeah.
Okay. But then there's like 45 minutes to 30 minutes of a gap in time there.
Yeah.
Where could he have gone?
He says he was driving around aimlessly, just killing time.
Okay. So then he comes home, let's just say around 10:15 is what you're saying. What time did you get home from your doctor's appointment?
I'm gonna say somewhere between 11 and 11:20.
And then did he leave again?
Yes.
How do you know he was home? Because you got the call.
Because I got the call and I think I saw him when I got home.
Okay. And then what time did he leave again to go to the vape shop?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm not sure what time he left.
And then
Oh, actually, hold on, let me think.
do you guys have a Ring at your house? Ring doorbell? Do you have any video doorbell system? Do you have any cameras in the house?
No.
Y'all are pointing out about the cameras. Remember, he said where he dropped her off to the police, he was like, I don't believe there's any cameras here, and we haven't ever heard of there being cameras there. So I think it was very much planned. And like I've stated before, the whole going back for the clicker thing when you're supposed to be dropping Maddie off at school, what's that about? Why? What was so important that you had to go all the way back to the house and risk being caught? This is the birthday shirt that you see on your screen that I was just referencing. It was like on top of the laundry basket, on top of everything. So I really think she wore it that night.
I'm gonna say.
Okay, Hannah, be safe.
I'm gonna say he left around somewhere between 12:30 and 1 o'clock, because I remember looking at the time going, I don't think he's going to be done in time running his errands to be back by 2:31.
Kimberly said, she says in her April interviews he had on a red shirt with graphic, but not a Deadpool shirt. She knew. It's interesting that you say that. I need to go pinpoint that because the police asked her if Stefan had changed clothes in these earlier interviews, and she says, no, he's not changed clothes. And he obviously had. He's wearing a blue shirt. So it's interesting to me that you say that she admits he's wearing the red Deadpool shirt in April when she was saying that he didn't change clothes at all in February. And he did because he's in the blue shirt at that time. I think I know there's more CCTV we're not privy to, and there's DNA evidence from the condo not released yet. Sorry. Because we have pictures of him driving with her in the car from the traffic cameras, but there's no video and the pictures are redacted. So there's definitely stuff that hasn't been released. Absolutely.
Okay.
And he said he ran his errands. He stopped at a few comic shops or game stores or something like that. Then he got a flat tire somewhere on 182. He doesn't remember exactly where.
Is it, Heather? I didn't see it.
I remember him telling me he hurt himself changing the spare tire.
How did he hurt himself?
Something slipped while he was doing something with what's the crank that pops up that brings
the
up
lift or
yeah
you know
what I'm talking about.
The jack.
Something slipped and his finger got caught between the frame and the jack, I think. So
Okay.
he just had to pull out his finger. So I know he's got a Band-Aid on his finger right now because of that.
So what time do you leave the house to go pick up?
2:30.
2:30.
Yeah, she gets out at 4. It takes me about 20 minutes to get to school, and then I wait about an hour and 10 minutes.
Yeah, for the car line and everything.
Yeah.
And just gifted 5 Speculation Station memberships, and those went to Michelle Weedle, Blue Sapphire, Hearts My Face Forever, Genevieve, Norma C. Thank you so much for that. That was so very sweet and supportive of you. I'm so glad they went to people that are here in chat. If you were gifted by Anne, please tell her thank you. That was so very sweet of you, Anne. Thank you so much for the support. That was so sweet. I'm going to grab the crazy train and pick y'all up on the way to Speculation Station. I'm going off the rails on a crazy train. Thank you so much, Ed. That was so very sweet of you. It's so supportive. Y'all are so sweet. Thank you. Hey, Jill. Kimberly said, yep, I revisited that April interview, and man, so much on it. She even seems cocky in it, still making excuses for him. Yep. And she never gives us anything that we didn't already know. And if you're not involved in a crime and you legitimately know nothing, why are we giving you immunity? Innocent people don't need immunity. So they felt like she knew more, just like we do. And for some reason in July, they state that they've been through her phone line by line, thousands of hours, and state that Stefan worked independently. What changed? I don't know. It's weird. That's one of the things that has everybody up in arms about this case is her and the inconsistencies and how weird it is.
Okay.
I like to be the first in line.
So at what point did you think something's up?
Around 4:10 when she did not come out of school and I was the first in line. I was holding up the line. I'm the first in line. There's cars behind me and they already have their kids.
Right.
So when I noticed she had not come out, I drove away thinking maybe I missed her. Maybe I forgot to tell her that I was picking her up from school today because I have a new work schedule.
Mm-hmm.
So
what do you do for work again? I'm sorry.
I work
Okay.
I just recently, that's the biggest reason I even called Stefan was to come help me this week with her getting her to school, helping with the dog. That's the whole reason I even called him was to come help me.
And what car did he come up in from North?
You called him to come help you after breaking up with him and kicking him out of your house on a day that you needed help with the dogs to sleep because you had a blood appointment and you were off for the next 2 days. You needed help that desperately. And you needed it from Stefan, not from your sister who lives literally next door or your grandma who lives literally 2 seconds from the school. I mean, your mother, not your mother, her grandmother. You had off the next 2 days, plenty of time to sleep. Like, make that make sense, please. Yeah, she wasn't holding up the line, Elizabeth, at all. Jeep Sahara said she's so matter of fact, after those pics, I'd be destroyed and heartbroken, as most of us would, right? Like normal people would. Hearts My Face Forever said, I thought the immunity for that one interview was to allow Jen to safely tell the truth now that Stefan had been arrested in case she was lying under duress. That's They want her to admit to what she knows and tell her that she's not going to be charged for anything she tells them. And they give the reference of like, if you say there is a firearm that's buried 6 feet in the ground over here on the north side of Main Street, we can't say that you told us that and hold you accountable and put you in jail. We have to show that we figured that out a different way. It's the reference they give, but she doesn't give anything in the interview that was not already known or that she didn't say before. So it's confusing. And innocent people don't need that. Like, she was interviewed after Stefan was arrested. That's when they go hard on her, and we have the actual video of the interview. And she still admits to nothing. She actually talks herself into looking more guilty than she ever did before, in my opinion.
From down there
in his dad's Cadillac.
All right. So you kind of get some concerns when she's not coming out.
She's not coming out. So I drove to my mom's office along the same path she would have walked. I didn't see her. Got to my mom's office. I asked my mom, is she here yet? She goes, no. And I said, oh, maybe I missed her. Maybe
Does she
still...
sometimes walk home from school?
Yeah, she does.
To
my mom's office, yeah.
Gotcha. And then you pick her up from there?
Yeah.
Okay.
She didn't make it. So I drove back to. I think at this point I had called her best friend to ask, "Hey, is she with you?" Because I went to pick her up from school and I didn't see her.
Right.
And she said, "No, she never made it to first or second period."
Okay.
And I was like, "Can you please check with your other friends to see if she made it to her other periods?"
Mm-hmm.
I think at this point I emailed her teacher.
Right. Do you know if she has a Snapchat?
I don't believe so, no.
Okay. She just has an Instagram.
Yeah.
Okay. So after you go to your mom's office, you realize she's not there either. Is this when you go home?
No, I go back to the school to go. So I drive the path again to see if I missed her, and then I go back to the school to check with school to check their attendance because her friends are telling me she never made it. But when I got to the school was already closed.
Mm-hmm.
So I drove back. I think at this point I had gotten a response from one of her teachers telling me she never made it to my period, and then he checked the attendance for the rest of the day. She never made it to any of her periods.
Gotcha. Okay.
The teacher that is also a chomo, by the way.
This is when I start to panic and freak out because I know something is wrong. So I call. Sorry, I just thought about that image.
That you want to see it.
Take your time.
So I called 911.
So you called 911?
Or I don't know if I did or my sister did, but somebody called 911.
What was Stefan's reaction when you said you were calling 911?
I called him and I said, "She never made it to school." He's like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "She got dropped off." I was like, "You dropped her off? She never made it to school."
Mm-hmm.
She slipped right there. I was like, she got dropped off. You dropped her. And she fixes it to you dropped her off very quickly. That again seems scripted to me. It seems like it's part of the script. She was trying to remember the script as in she's telling somebody else and she's like, she got dropped off, and then she realizes she's talking about Stefan and then says, "You dropped her off." And before she had stated it as a question, "You dropped her off," right? I remember that. I'm going to back it up a little bit. That's interesting to me.
You said you were calling 911.
I called him and I said, "She never made it to school." He's like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "She got dropped off." I was like, "You dropped her off?"
She got dropped off. I was like, "You dropped her off." So that was a Freudian slip, I think.
Never made it to school.
Mm-hmm.
I said, "Please come to the office right now." And he goes, "Okay, I'm heading there right now." So he hauled ass came to the office.
And you're driving your car and he was driving his car?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he made it to the office.
That's weird to me. I don't understand why you didn't have somebody at the house in case she came back. Miss King of Anything said Strategic mentioned she had been sitting in front of the school for an hour because she wanted to be first in line. Would she not see Maddie walking away? And that's another good point. Again, I believe that it was an alibi. Linda said, "I do believe that Stefan and Jen scripted the scenario." I do too. The hoodie found in the trash wasn't Maddie's. I don't get why it's big deal because of the design on the front. The hoodie she was found in was from her best friend. Her best friend's parents own a business, and the hoodie she was found in had the logo from their business on it.
And then we started calling. I was talking to 911, waiting for the cops. Kept calling them back. Kept trying to figure out where she might be.
Mm-hmm.
We were both sitting there pretty upset, pretty distraught, just thinking of the worst case scenarios. Eventually, we found out that there were also 2 other missing children in the area, and that all the cops had gone to a park. So one of my family members went to the park to speak to an officer, to try to get an officer to come back to the office, and he did. And then he took a report.
Mm-hmm.
That was about 7:30, I think.
Monday night.
Yeah.
And what's Stefan's kind of demeanor been since then?
He's been absolutely a mess.
Do you think he would ever hurt?
I don't think he would know.
Okay. Understand.
Like I believe you when you talk to me about those images.
Mm-hmm.
Those images might be real, or they've happened, but I don't believe they're related to this case. I don't think.
It's been going on it's been going on since she's been. Like, and I wish I could say, it's not true. It's not. I mean, we have images. We have them. I looked at them.
I've always thought for a long time about this case that Jen knew absolutely about this CSAM stuff because of the Woody Allen comment and several other things she says. And then one of the other things is right there. She says, I believe that those images are real. I believe that happened, but I don't believe they're related to this case. Now, what that tells me and what my speculation is that somehow, some way, Stefan manipulated Jen into believing that him and Madeline were in some kind of relationship, and he groomed Madeline to the extent of believing that she was in a relationship with Stefan and convinced Jen that they were in a relationship and they were in love and they were going to get married and all of the other things. And then the Woody Allen comment comes from, she's like, okay, well, since y'all are in love, I know age is just a number or whatever. And just don't leave me when y'all get married. You have to stay here with me. You still have to stay with me and be with me, here with me physically, not like in a relationship or whatever. And so therefore she knew about the CSAM stuff. That's why she's consoling Stefan in the interview with the news, like she's a mother figure to him instead of in a relationship with him. And that's why all of the CSAM stuff is not surprising to her and not bad to her, but the homicide is, because in her mind, she believed that Stefan loved Madeline to the extent loved her too much to hurt her. I that's just my speculation, and it is 100% a speculation because I was not there. I did not see. I do not know. But that's the only way I can make that make sense, even though that doesn't make sense. That's the most logical thing that I can come up with that could explain why she thinks the CSAM is not evil or not bad, but the homicide is.
This goes all the way back to 2022. Some of those pictures. I understand it's a lot to take in right now. I can only imagine what you're going through, but we need to know literally everything. At the end of the day, like I've told you many, many times, the sheriff's office main goal here, we want to find and bring her back home. That's what we want. But we need your help. We can only do so much. You're with her on a daily basis. You understand the relationship. You understand everything. But at the end of the day, we just need to know. Did he make any mention of going anywhere, taking her somewhere when he came into town? I know you said they like to play games together.
No, he wasn't taking her going.
Okay. And prior to coming up Sunday, when's the last time he's been here?
I see it's been over a month.
Okay. Has she ever made any comments to you about sex or anything like that? Being abused or anything like that? Hold on 1 second.
Sorry, just 1 second.
All I've said, unfortunately, we will probably never know the truth unless one of them talks, and that's very, very true. The police did find masturbation cream in his book bag. Yeah, it was in his book bag, which has always been weird to me, too. The income thing, I wonder if he mind warped her enough to believe that him and Maddie were in a relationship, okay? and that they were in love, and he groomed Maddie to believe that they were in love and they were in a relationship. I don't know how all that went down. I don't know if it went down. I wasn't there. I don't know. And thank God he would be dead. But it what comes to mind for me is if they came and they were like, okay, well, we're doing these things anyway, and I could just take pictures and videos and put it out on the web and we can make all this money. And I mean, I think that's a possible speculation too, but again, it's only a speculation, and I certainly hope not, but weirder things have happened. I actually just FOIA'd information about a girl from Florida
So there might have been a little bit of miscommunication here, but
that was trying to sell her child for $500. People do it. I just can't make it make sense that she thinks the CSAM's not evil, but the homicide is any other way.
a Kissimmee police officer detective is going to come speak to you about everything that we just talked about. Okay. So they're going to come talk to you with an Orange County detective. So I don't want to go too much further into it with you because they're going to go a little bit deeper. They know a lot more than I do. Okay. So they'll be able to explain a little bit more to you. Is that fair? In the meantime, do you need to use the bathroom or anything? It's okay. Take your time. Do you need any more water? Okay.
Are they coming here to interview?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, you're not going to have to go anywhere.
Had to get my Red Bull. Okay. I think that they were making money from the pictures as well. And I would love, I mean, you know, my chat's open. I don't want an echo chamber at all. Everybody's thoughts, opinions, and speculations are welcome here as long as they're stated as such. But does anybody else have any ideas on how she could think that the CSAM stuff is not evil, but the homicide is? Like, what else makes sense to y'all? We're going to talk while this plays because they're quiet.
I feel like we need proof evidence.
Okay, hold on.
I'm afraid of being traumatized forever, so I'm not sure what to do.
That's okay. And
She said, I don't want to see those pictures, but I do. I need to see evidence of it. I don't want to be traumatized forever, so I'm not sure what to do. Because she needs to see evidence of it. I think that she's trying to explain because, like, I mean, if we're going to go with what some of you guys have said, that she's wondering if she's in any of those photos, then she's trying to come up with what excuse sounds best to want to see the photos, because she knows it's not a normal reaction for a mother to want to see photos like that of their child. Genevieve said, has anyone done a deep dive on open source information on how predators actually make money and how much money software costs for them to have a profitable CSAM operations? Is interesting. I have not. Okay, the Artemis Prime was talking about the PPP loans. I pulled what information I had on it. I don't know if that validated it or not. Maybe I shouldn't have stated it as it validating it, but that's all I have on it that I've been able to verify. That she did have a company called Jennifer Soto LLC. I think in her mind, they were completely separate things in her brain. You think so? Hey, Linda. Stern's parents give you Casey Anthony vibes. Jen's mom was giving Stearns a side eye when the police were there. She never liked him. Yep, you're absolutely right.
the Kissimmee detective, we'll go over everything with you, okay?
I agree, Angela. And okay, so Hamburger Helper, good to see you. I went down that road too, like her making sure they're not bluffing. If they show her the pics, she can react accordingly. Like, I know some people believe that police lie, and as we all know, police can lie. and try to get you to admit to things. So if we went down the avenue of she thinks that the police are lying to her for whatever reason to get her to admit to things or to see if they're bluffing, why would she still then say that the CSAM stuff is not evil, but the homicide is? That's, I mean, I don't know. I would not ever think the police were lying to me personally if they told me something like that. But if we were going to say that she did, why I can't understand what makes her think the CSAM stuff is not evil. Army Mom, good to see you. Understandable, law enforcement is holding info close to the vest as to Stefan Stearns and Jen making money off of CSAM. Oh yeah, if they haven't, we're not going to find out till trial, which is, accurate. We want to make sure he gets charged accordingly. We don't want to do anything to interfere with the trial.
Can I get you anything? How long have you been working at for?
Less than 2 weeks.
Oh, so you just started there?
Yeah.
Are you just like in training, or how does it work?
Yeah, I'm training.
Okay. What'd you do before that?
I was a substitute teacher for a little bit, but for the most part, for the last few years, I've just been off disability.
Okay.
Hey, Bazard. Bazard said, it's always sus that Jen changes her tone of voice with certain questions, and then she's more animated for other things. Hell, she sounds excited to a degree about seeing the CP material. Yeah, I don't know. It's definitely weird how she gets her tone changes, and she gets real low like a child in trouble. But then when she talks about Stefan, she gets animated and obviously happy when she's talking about Stefan. But she doesn't do it for Maddie at all whatsoever. She makes sure to mention that the vape shop, they could verify that Stefan was there, but she doesn't ever try to verify that Maddie was anywhere. She does mention the church, but I think it's only when she's asked about it. No, she did. Let me correct that. She did mention that she did ask, did they see Maddie at the church one time? But she doesn't try to verify anywhere else that you could see Maddie or ask about Maddie or anything like that. But she says several times about them verifying that Stefan was at the vape shop because there's cameras. We looked at that yesterday, Hamburger Helper, her live journal. It's in the description box of yesterday's live. You can click on that link and go read her live journal. Christy said, my take is she couldn't blame Maddie for the essay, but if Stefan committed homicide, then there's no going back and she loses money. She does appear, even in the Woody Allen comment, to blame Madeline for a lot of things. I definitely agree that Stefan was her main concern and priority when it should have been Madeline and all along Linda.
I'll be right back.
I could see that too. Like, considering that Stefan has, what was it, 3,500 images of other children on his phone. If he's convinced Jen, or however, that he's with Maddie and they're in a relationship or whatever, he's gonna, excuse me, he is the type to push the boundaries, okay? So he's pushing boundaries a little bit over years, and then he finally pushes the boundary enough to get Jennifer to believe that him and Maddie are in a relationship. He's going to continue to push the boundaries further and further and further and further as time goes on. 35,000. Thank you, Jenny Jen. So, I mean, I could see that too. I could see him being like, well, we're already in a relationship and, we can make this money, that I sell or produce or whatever. And then I go back to the comment she makes that Stefan Stearns lies and manipulates and steals to his parents, but he would never do that to me. Why is it that you think he would never do that to you? Well, the only thing that makes sense in my mind is that, again, it's because he's told you something or something. He's trusted you with something that is so big that he could get in a lot of trouble, or he could go to prison, or he could possibly die, whatever. He's trusted you with this information. And in your mind, it's like, oh, well, if he trusted me enough to tell me this thing, then of course he would never lie to me or steal from me or manipulate me, because why would he have told me? If he was going to lie to me, he wouldn't have told me this big, humongous thing that I could use to get him in trouble or whatever. That's the only thing that makes sense in my mind about that. If you believe that he lies and manipulates and steals from his own parents, and you don't think that he would do that to you, the only thing that makes sense is that you have something really big on him that could get him in a bunch of trouble. And if you know something that's so big that you could get him in a lot of trouble with that information, and you think the CSAM's not evil, but the homicide is, I mean, there's only so many ways that I can try to make it not work, and there's no way to make it not work. That's the only connection that I can come up with that makes sense. And it makes sense. And that's the part that sucks for Maddie and sucks about the whole story. But again, I want to reiterate, this is just a speculation. I was not there. I did not see. I do not know.
You okay? It's your head?
No, just a lot of anxiety. Just thinking about how I didn't know. I didn't see anything.
Lori said even Stephen, her ex-husband, couldn't cope with Jen, but her family left Maddie with her. Well, you would never think that the mother of the child would hurt the child, just like the roommates thinking that she had Maddie's best interest at heart, because you would always think the mother looks out for the child. Hey, Flora. It can be like Stockholm Syndrome. XXX. I mean, I could understand and respect your opinion on that. With the Tyler situation, I think there's a lot more going on there. Her parents paid for the custody of Madeline. He went to prison. Tatiana doesn't like Jen, which is, natural, because Maddie is the product of a one-night stand from a girl he was in a relationship with a really long time while they were in high school. I think it's just complicated would be the best word to describe it. I think if he had ever had any idea of what was going on with Maddie, I think he would have done something, honestly. But I think that him, like everybody else, thought that Jen Soto would have her child's best interest at heart. Possibly Bazard. Someone mentioned that on SE Chan.
All the sexual stuff did happen. Or we know it happened. What if he's telling the truth about dropping her off and driving away and driving around circles and getting to the vape shop? Is there video evidence of him in front of the vape store? Because I know there's banks around, right in that same plaza. There must, and an Amscot. There must be video of him pulling into that plaza and waiting.
Okay, what does that have to do with anything? Again, mentioning the video camera footage in front of the vape store. Like, let's say all the CSAM stuff did happen, but he didn't commit the homicide. Again, making excuses, trying to get him a lawyer immediately after you find out about the CSAM stuff. Making excuses for the CSAM stuff, but trying to say that he didn't commit the homicide. Why would it matter if you have video footage of him in front of the vape store or not? Like, what? Make that make sense to me. And why is she always bringing up this vape store and the surveillance? Again, I've asked before, like as in the Leilani Simon trial, she said she went to the gas station to get Ambisol, but you see pictures of Ambisol, a whole damn bottle in her cabinet. I want to know if there's a picture of vape juice in Stefan's book bag or wherever he was keeping his stuff at. I want to know if there was already a bottle of vape juice there, because I really think he went to the vape juice store to get vape juice just to have some kind of alibi or to say, see, I was here at this time, I was here at this moment. I want to know how much vape juice he already had when he bought the new vape juice. Maybe,
What do you mean? What's
Cindy.
your question?
Even he's like, what's your point? Possibly, Cindy.
If you guys have found evidence of him being in front of the store like he said he was, like it's possible that his story might be true and somebody else could have taken her. Like, I'm just thinking, like, what if we're focusing, like, okay, the sex things happened, right? But what if that's completely a side thing and not having to do with this, like her missing?
Yeah.
What if
I got
somebody
you.
else?
So just like Detective Khalees explained, that's why the Kissimmee detective and the Orange County detective are going to come and talk to you about it. Obviously, it's two different things that we're talking about, but they may be tied together. They may not. We're not sure. But that's why we want to talk to you and get as much information as possible. That's what the detectives are going to come and talk to you and, try to help us out. Get as much information.
Am I allowed to talk to my sister right now?
Right now, just hang on for right now, until after they're done.
She is always defending him.
At the press conference, I don't know.
Alana.
Can you tell me? You weren't there. I just want to know what was said at the press conference. What did I miss?
They'll let you know. What are you worried about that you missed?
Nothing, just if there's a new piece of information that I haven't heard or something. But I know you guys are keeping me in the loop.
Yeah.
You're worried about seeing and knowing what happened at this press conference, yet you're in the room with the detectives. Like, if there was something going to be released on that press conference, I think the police would tell you. Just me thinking, though, as a logical thinking person. I don't know. It was prune flavored for real. I haven't studied the receipt. I have it, but I didn't look at what kind of flavor it was. That's absolutely disgusting. Veronica said the vape shop thing to me was something that Jen came up with as to state that some things he said were true to deflect from him being a liar. No, Jen, it doesn't mean he's innocent at all. Right. I agree. Jen is Gypsy. Good to see you. Guilty of Crime said that's actually not true. Tatiana didn't want him involved in Maddie's life, and Tatiana really loved Maddie. I'm not saying that Tyler is perfect, but Tatiana wanted him to have a relationship with her. Okay, I can believe that. And if I misspoke, I do apologize. My thought process was her talking about Jen, but again, that doesn't mean that she didn't want him to have a relationship with Maddie. I should have stated it as I could see some jealousy factors in their relationship, and I could see how it could play a role in a jealousy aspect of it. The fact that they had been together when they were teenagers, and then Maddie was the product of a one-night stand. That, however, did not mean that she did not want Maddie to have a relationship with him or be a part of their life. It would be more of a cause friction between her and Jennifer. And I should have stated it as such. So I do apologize for that. Hurts My Face Forever said the vape shop is somewhere they know has cameras. It's meant to be an alibi. I'm sure they know the church is too. That's why she was dropped off near the church. Right. Right. I agree. I don't know about you. Yeah, I'm gonna. I respect everybody's thoughts, opinions, and speculations, but I don't know. Tyler is a victim in this, so regardless of any of that, I don't think he could have stopped it. I do believe that if he had known what was going on, it would have been stopped. So there's not really a whole lot of reason to talk about him as respectfully as possible.
I just keep hoping. Just hoping she's still out there and she's still alive. I don't think Stefan would have done anything to her. But
I'm going to back that up because that comment was covered. She said, I don't think Stefan would have done anything to her.
I haven't heard something, but I know you guys are keeping me in the loop as well.
Mm-hmm.
I just keep hoping. Just hoping.
Oh, I appreciate it. I didn't figure it was for me, but I should have stated it as such when I spoke on it. And so I was glad you said that anyway, so I could correct that because I didn't mean it the way it came out. Well, good to see you. Thank you for being here. Wow says, I believe Jen was more involved in one of her first interviews. She said she last saw Maddie Wednesday, not Sunday. I believe her and Jen had an argument on Wednesday when Maddie went to grandma's. Yeah, I thought so too. And then we listened to the interview with Yolanda, and she said that Maddie came Friday night. So that, for the longest time, I thought that she had not seen her since that Wednesday night when she went to grandma's house. But grandma said she went there Friday night. And I actually wrote that down yesterday when we listened to the interview with grandma. She said Friday she slept over. And then she stayed Saturday.
She's still out there and she's still alive. I don't think Stefan would have done anything to her. But
It's hard to hear because she talks so low here. I don't understand how she thinks the CSAM is not evil, but the homicide is. Like, I just can't make that make sense. Um, Jeep Sahara said, where was Maddie on her actual birthday? There is a picture of her at the house because you can tell that it's the table that's in the kitchen. So I believe she was home on her actual birthday. And then she went to grandma's house Sunday for her birthday party. Hold on, y'all. I had to let Basil out. I've heard that Blue Sapphire, that his parents paid off a previous roommate who he got caught video recording. I can't verify it. I've been able to verify the court records from where they sued the guy with his traumatic brain injury, but that's all I've been able to verify so far as any kind of previous court cases with Stefan Stearns involving his parents and all of that.
Good afternoon. I was calling because I have an appointment today at 5:30. I was staying at work a little later. I was wondering if I could cancel it. Okay, thank you. It's under Lewis at 5:30.
Oh, goodness.
All right, thank you.
Okay. You're okay. We speculate here. As long as you state it as speculation, it's fine. Ange said, do you think it's a possibility that Maddie ran into the woods and that's where they harmed her because of the latex gloves? The Deb Stars interview has me questioning if it was Jen in the church video. I questioned if it was Jen in the church video too. I cannot make the latex gloves in the woods by the house make sense, considering that there's latex glove in Stefan's car too, that are the exact same as the ones in the woods by the apartment. I really do believe he was in the woods doing something with some latex gloves on, and I don't know what. I that's something I can't make sense yet.
Stefan's staff asking where he could, because I guess he was at the conference.
Mhm.
Now he's just waiting.
Okay.
He's asking where he could wait.
He can wait either in the front it's the west lobby. So it's the one where the big flagpoles are in. It's the main entrance. Or he can wait in the car.
I'm talking while they're waiting so that we don't have to wait for all this. That's a picture of the search warrant that was
In the west lobby, the
Given.
main entrance with all the flags.
Yeah, with the big flagpoles. It's the one that says Orange County Sheriff's Office right at the front.
Flora said, I believe Jen Soto deleted every photo of hers and Madeline Soto's phones to be on the safe side. If that happened, I would think the police would be able to pull it, to be fair. Because Stefan tried that and it didn't work. Hey, Missy Q. I appreciate all the kind things y'all are saying in chat. Y'all are so very sweet. Ever Love Me said, what if he considered dumping evidence or the body in the woods so he was there before he left but then realized it's too close? That's a possibility and that makes sense. That's a possible speculation. Oh yeah, that's a good point too though. Hearts My Face Forever said, wouldn't cadaver dogs pick up on it if Maddie were left in the woods near the house? That's another great point. And they didn't, that we know of. So that would mean she wasn't there when she was deceased or when she died anyway. I wonder.
Front. It's on the easiest way to find it's on the Colonial Drive side.
Is Colonial Drive this road right here?
It's not the one that you guys came through. It's the other one, the one that goes east to west.
That's where he is. What's the other?
That's a good point, Jill. Said they were bloodhounds, not cadaver dogs. I would think they took the cadaver dogs there, though. I would think, I don't know though, because they just have the video of them searching the cars with the cadaver dogs, but maybe, I mean, we wouldn't have video of them searching inside the house anyway, because they're not allowed to release inside people's houses in Florida. Yeah, the cadaver dogs were where they searched the car. Flora said you can permanently delete phones off of iPhones. It tells you deleting them everywhere by final destination. I think that police would still be able to recover that. Julie Ann said text message about the baby coin. Was that on Maddie's phone? Was it deleted message? It was on Maddie's phone, I do believe. I don't know if it was a deleted message or not. I think there's a lot more text messages than what we have. And I think we'll get them when we'll hear about them in court. I will be covering the court case, like the whole time. Sun up to sundown. That's a redacted photo. That's why it just went black. Yeah, that's what I thought. CC True Crime Police can recover anything deleted, iPhone or not. And they can recover the Google Meet conversations too. Hio said they used bloodhounds for scent, but you can also see the footage of the shepherd searching for decomp in the car. We don't see them searching for decomp in the woods by the house, though, where that glove is. And that's what I'm trying to figure out. They use proprietary infringement software. It's hard to get onto iPhone even when it's your own. Oh, really? Oh, yeah, Joyous, and thank you for being here. I'm definitely going to be covering the trial. Yeah. I agree. We don't know the half of it. I'm hoping a lot of our questions get answered, and I hope we see an arrest. She did say she checked the messages and never mentioned the coin. Stefan is like lingering over her the whole time, so if maybe he deleted it and she wasn't aware at the time or something, I don't know. But if she's comfortable enough to text him an image after she searched on Amazon that I'm assuming is in her mother's name that her mother could see. Number one, her mother would have seen that she searched for that parent coin on Amazon and wonder why. Number two, if she's comfortable enough to text that to Stefan from her phone, then she's comfortable enough to text him a lot of things. So again, I really think there's a lot more that we're going to know about once this goes to court. Well, I don't think so, Army Mom. I don't think the glove merely blew away in the wind after falling out of Stefan's car, because it's like a glove inside of the other car. I mean, I guess it might be possible. A glove inside of the other glove, in the woods. It's possible, but I would not think so. Genevieve has probably been sold by now. Yeah, it's linked to Jen Soto's Amazon. Right. So you didn't see that? Like, you didn't question it? I don't know. I think it was an accident. Blue Sapphire said, why that night? I find it strange if he planned it. We have why he didn't delete thousands of images before. I think it was an accident. I think something might have went too far, or something happened, especially considering the jail call where he says, I loved her. I never would have wanted anything bad to happen to her. It was supposed to be a good weekend. There was no reason for anything to happen that happened. Like, all of those things make me think that it was an accident of some sort. but I don't know how you accidentally choke somebody to death. Yeah, she did. She could not find the message about living in the woods, and she did call her sister to ask about it. CC True Crime, you probably could use the browser to just search and not log in. But if you're searching on like the Wi-Fi router, it would show up as a search history. And I think even if you're on the same phone,
Hey, how are you? Good, how are you?
I don't know about the same phone.
Hello, my name is Mark. I work with the Kissimmee Police Department. Okay, great.
Thank you. That's your work phone?
No.
Is that what?
But that's the.
Okay, thank you.
So the reason I am here, or we are here, is because we think when went missing, you live in our city limits. Okay. So that's the reason we got involved now. Okay, do you understand?
Yeah.
All right, so I understand you probably answered a lot of questions and you've got a lot of stuff going on. I am apologizing now. I may ask you the same things that you've already been asked. That's just because I like to hear it for myself. Okay, and I know you've been speaking with her quite a bit, but we want to do what we can to find it as soon as possible. Okay, so that's our main focus right now. All right. So, but before I get started, your first name is, right?
Yeah.
And your last name is, what's your telephone number? And you live,
A lot of people said they saw him Saturday, and
is that right? Okay. What apartment number is that?
he says he came up Sunday. We have questions too.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask you, and once again, I apologize. So on Monday, you should have gone to school. Is that right? Okay. So tell me how that morning went. Actually, let's go the night prior. So,
Night prior, she had a party at my mom's house. I couldn't be there because I was at work.
where do you work at? Okay.
She had a party. She had a good time. She spent the
Brian, I'm not. I want you to make it make sense for me. Brian said, I think Stefan was snorting Adderall and got carried away with it. So, what do you think he got carried away with? Like he got too high or something? Like I'm not. I just am trying to understand your point of view. Like, what you think he got too high, or and like how even if he was doing that, how would you relate that to asphyxiation of Madeline? I wonder. I'm just asking. Army Mom said possibly Maddie became liberated that day of her 13th birthday and gave her mother an ultimatum: it's Stefan Stearns or me, and then the ensued into fatal confrontation. It's a possibility. It's possible speculation.
the entire time with my family.
Hey, Screaming Daisy.
Later that evening around 8:30, my sister dropped her off at my house. And she started getting ready for bed, or doing her nighttime routine, which is take her meds and get in the shower. About 10 minutes after she arrived, Stefan arrived, and he let me know that she was doing what she was supposed to be doing.
Stefan is
My boyfriend.
your boyfriend. Okay.
He arrived. He made sure she was doing what she was needed to be doing. I got home around 10:30 and saw that she was almost ready for bed. I ate. We talked for a little bit. Asked how the party was, to show me her gifts, how everything went, and then she went to bed.
And this is around, you said around 10:30 she went to bed?
Around 11.
11, okay.
At this point, I sent them. We have 2 bedrooms. we're a 4-bedroom townhouse, but there's a bedroom and a guest bedroom.
Okay.
I sent them upstairs to the guest bedroom because I had not slept well the night before. I had forgotten my psychiatric meds and I was feeling off. I was not feeling okay. So when I got home from work, I said, guys, I needed a good night's sleep. They all wanted to sleep in my bed, all 3 of us together.
Okay. Is that normal?
Yeah, for us to do that, yeah.
Okay.
They all wanted, okay, so that's where y'all were talking about. She says they all wanted to sleep in my bed. So how did it go from they all wanted to sleep in my bed to she's upstairs with Stefan? I guess because she sleeps like a monkey and Jen was trying to get some good sleep. Again, if you miss one day of psychiatric medication, it's really not going to make you feel that off, in my opinion.
When he's not around, he sleeps with me.
Mm-hmm.
If he's around, he'll sleep upstairs sometimes in the guest bedroom or with us in our bed.
Mm-hmm.
But the 3 of us on my bed is pretty uncomfortable. It's a king, but my child sleeps.
But she just said if he's not there, her and Jen sleep together. So again, I mean, the question we've had from the beginning, if Maddie really needed someone to sleep with, why can't she just sleep with you, Jen? Again, as we've been saying from the beginning. It does. It builds up in your system. So you missing one day of medication is more than likely, in my opinion, and my opinion solely, not going to make you feel that darn off. When the roommates have heard an argument between Maddie and Jen, if they were there, and they would have been, yeah. So yeah, more than likely, yeah.
Sleeps like a monkey. She just kicks and punches.
One or two, I know.
Yeah. Chill up on one side and wake up on the other. It's just, yeah. So I asked them to sleep upstairs that night to give me a good night's sleep, and they said okay, they would. And from what as far as I'm aware, they went upstairs. They went to sleep. I was woken up around, I want to say 8:00 in the morning on Monday, by Stefan trying to put the leash on the dog to walk him, and I got up to try to help him with it, but Stefan got it and walked him and told me to go back to bed, so I went back to bed.
Okay.
I heard people in the kitchen. I'm not sure exactly who because I do have roommates, and they're up at all hours. So I heard somebody in the kitchen. Assumed it was getting ready for school. Left her phone on her nightstand. I know she walked into the kitchen, into her bedroom to get ready and all that because she left her phone on her dresser in her bedroom. And I know she did that while she was getting ready that morning.
Now, what is considered her bedroom? Where?
In the living room.
Okay.
We've got like a little wall partition.
Blue Sapphire said Stefan was asking his father for substances. His father said he was agitated, claiming stress. Was it for himself, fake, or to give to Maddie? I think that when Stern's dad talks about him asking for anxiety and meds, I do believe it was for a legitimate anxiety issue. We have heard that Maddie called Stefan from the birthday party and told him something, or no, not from the well, she did call from the birthday party, but Madeline had called and told him something, and I think whatever she told him stressed him out really, really bad, and he didn't have any anxiety meds or wanted something stronger, and that's why he asked his dad that. I do believe it was for him.
And she's got a bedroom in the living room. It's got a bed, a dresser, a desk, and a TV. She doesn't sleep there though. She just hangs out there during the day. That's her space. She'll hang out there. Yeah, she got ready, supposedly, and they were off. They left to school early. I'm not sure what time they left.
What time does her school start? Do you know?
She's got to be at school at the latest by 9:28.
What, do you know what time her school starts?
9:28.
Okay. Okay.
From what I was told, he dropped her off somewhere between 8:30 and 8:45. or somewhere along that line, around that time.
And Stefan told you this?
Actually, that timeline might be from what the cameras,
The cameras of the church picked up? Because, I mean, again, that's just weird to me. You're making sure they got him on camera, like you're trying to verify his alibi because you know that he needed to go somewhere to verify where he had been. It's just my opinion. Love to Hunt said, now I know I heard Maddie was getting ready in her bedroom because she left her phone there. When we looked at the steps, because those phones count the steps taken, it shows that it went upstairs, then downstairs, and then it was put on Maddie's dresser. I do believe that she plugged it in that night to charge, and then whatever happened to her, and Stefan put it on the dresser that morning before he left. They do treat Maddie as if she's a child. Some of y'all are saying, Brenda said, I don't believe a word out of Jen or Stefan's mouth. Maddie isn't here to defend herself. Can't wait till the trials to see these two pathetic maggots squirm. Justice for Maddie. We are her voice. Yeah. That's true. Jeep Sahara, Maddie did not want to see him. She told the school counselor things were good because Stefan moved out. Something went down and Stefan reacted. In my opinion, I don't think Jen Soto ever saw Maddie Sunday night. I don't think he did either. I don't think he did either at all. Or she did. Sorry. I don't think Jen saw her that night either. Elizabeth said they got up super early. They got out the door super quick. They were making good time. Yep. Why? And Jen mentions they talked about McDonald's that night, but we know that the McDonald's excuse was the excuse to leave really, really early in the morning and get out the door before the roommate saw him carrying Maddie's body or anybody else that could have been living nearby. So why does Jen say that they came up with the McDonald's plan the night before? That would show premeditation, that they had planned on committing the homicide, or that Stefan had anyway. And he was already planning how he was going to get out the door with her early that morning and he used the McDonald's excuse. Why does she say that they talked about it the night before, unless he had planned on doing it then and they talked about it then? I've never been able to figure that out either.
The church cameras you guys have told me about, but we don't know if that was really her, so I'm not sure about the timeline anymore.
Yes, Jen.
He said he went, I think he had given me a timeline of, he dropped her off somewhere between 8:20 and 8:45, but he's not sure exactly what time.
Okay.
He said they were making good time that morning. He was like super impressed with how quickly she got up, got ready, and was out the door. I know she wanted to meet up with her friends at school early. And I know
Did she tell you that?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I know she wanted McDonald's early that morning for breakfast.
Mhm.
But Stefan said she was asleep in the car for the majority of the car ride, and he kept trying to talk to her and talk her into getting McDonald's.
Mhm.
But she kept saying, no, just drop me off.
Okay.
So this is where she got dropped off somewhere on the road, close to school, and I don't know what happened to her. But this is what I was being told happened that morning.
Gotcha. And then you went to pick her up after school. Is that right?
Yeah. I left.
Hey, Gigi. Good to see you. The night before and morning are probably the same for Jen. I hope not. You think Maddie was deceased before Jen even got home? It's possible.
Left the house at 2:30. School is not let out till 4 o'clock, but it takes me about 20 minutes to drive, 25 minutes.
Mhm.
And then I wait that hour outside. I like being the first car in line. I like being the first.
Because it'll take you an hour to get through the line if you know.
Exactly. So I like being the first parent. I waited that hour and something minutes for 4 o'clock to show. 4:04 is when the bell rings. Waited there until like 4:10 and she didn't come out. That only sounds like a few minutes, but in those few minutes, the cars behind me got full of children. I'm the first in line, so there's cars behind me already picking up the children. They're waiting to get out. So I felt pressured and rushed. So I decided to drive away. I'm like, she's not here. Something's wrong. Or maybe I forgot to tell her that I was picking her up. Maybe she just decided to walk to my mom's office. She'll do this sometimes. This is pretty close to the school. So I decided to drive along the path.
Like you guys pointed out, if she had decided to walk to her mom's office, then Jen would have seen her because she was sitting outside the front door. So again, I question, was that just an alibi for Jen to go to the school? And she's like, okay, I got to go to the school and pretend like I didn't already know that Madeline was deceased. What would I do any other day? Well, you know, of course she's not going to come out of the school, so I'm going to go to mom's to make it look more believable that I really didn't know what was going on. And then that's what she did, because like you guys pointed out just now, and makes sense that she would have seen Maddie come out of the school and walk towards her mom's work. So if you're sitting there that whole time,
would have walked.
he did.
And I drove to my mom's office and I asked, has she made it? And they said no. And I said, okay, let me drive the path again and see if I see her along the way. Drive along the path. I park on the road where she would be walking, and I waited there for about 15 minutes and nothing. She didn't appear. At this point, I returned back to the office. She should have been at the office by this point. It's like 4:35. She did not appear. So at this point, I call her best friend and I asked her best friend, hey, is it with you? I don't think I told her I was coming to pick her up, but she's not walking or she's not at school. And she said, no, she never made it to first or second period. And I said, what do you mean she got dropped off? And she's like, she never made it to first or second period. I said, can you please check with your other friends to see if she made it to her other periods? At this point, I start panicking.
It's weird to me that she says to the friends, what do you mean she got dropped off? Like, why? I don't know. It's weird to me that she says that. Like, why wouldn't it be, what do you mean we took her to school? What do you mean? Like, I don't know. That's just a weird statement for me. What do you mean she got dropped off? It's weird for me. It's not something I would think of to say when I'm asking if my child, if you see your friend, my child at school. Angie B has said they must have something they can charge her. Poor child. They made their abuse of her normal. God only knows what they did, what they said or did to stop her from telling. If both are involved, but yeah, it's questionable, and I'm glad that she's not suffering anymore.
And I drive back to the school to check her attendance, but the school office had already closed. So
What time was this?
This is around 4:45.
Okay.
And
the school was closed already?
Okay. I think they closed at like 4:30. I went to the school, I rang the bell, they were closed, nobody was opening the door. So we decided to leave, but I had already emailed one of her teachers. I think when I had spoke to her best friend, I had emailed the teacher. The teacher confirmed that she never made it to his period and never made it to any of her other periods that day. He checked her attendance for the whole day. When he told me this, I realized something was really wrong. It was truly wrong. And I called, I didn't call, my sister called 911. I started having a panic attack.
And what time was this?
I want to say around 4:45, 4:50.
Okay.
And yeah, I called Stefan. I asked Stefan, I'm like, did you drop her off? He said, yeah, why? I'm like, she never made it to school. He's like, what? What do you mean? I'm like, I don't know. Just come to my.
Another thing I just picked up on is she's like, my sister called 911 and I started having a full-on panic attack. Like, again, I mean, you're putting yourself first in that scenario. Like, my sister has to call 911 to find out, to report my daughter missing, while I'm over here having a full-on panic attack because I'm concerned about me and my panic attack. That's weird. I don't know. That's another weird thing for me.
To my mom's office, she's not here. She's not here. And he drove immediately to the office and then waited with me while we called 911. I was having a panic attack. Trying to stay calm, but it was really hard. I think we waited about 3 hours for the police to show up. I think 2 children had gone missing around the same time in a park nearby. So all the cops.
Genevieve, you have a good day, love. Yeah. She said I watched her like a hawk, but yeah, I should have been watching him. Remember how quickly they dispelled the rumor that she wanted to run off into the woods, but both tried to throw it out there for the cops. Yep. I question if it's a possibility that they wanted Maddie to be reported missing and basically never be found, and then they think that she's just a missing child the whole time. If they thought that they would get away with it somehow. You said that's how Jen Soda manipulates. She's definitely very much about her sleep, her panic attack. It's all about me, my. Never about Maddie. Stefan and her panic attacks and her feelings and her emotions and everything she's got going on. Her medication, her sleep. Ugh.
Sure. Answering that call. Eventually a family member went over to the park and spoke to an officer and let him know, hey, there's another missing child. Please come take the report. So they followed him and brought him to the office, and then he took down our statements and made the report, and then the process started. They were there for, I'm gonna say 1 to 2 hours, and then it was time to go home.
Okay. So ever since then, since the officer took the report, or the deputy took the report, have you been driving around?
I've been staying at home just in case she comes home.
Okay.
My family, I have a huge family. They've been driving around. They've been walking the walking path.
You've been staying at home in case she comes home, even though there's roommates at the house. Stefan was at the house at the time, and you got a cell phone. Excuse me, ma'am, what? Like what?
Behind the school. They've handed out like 1,000 flyers already. They're the ones who contacted the news.
Has she gone missing before?
Never.
She's never ran away, even if it's for a couple hours or anything like that? Okay. So when you physically or talked to her, it was the night before.
Yes.
Is that right? Okay. And how was she then? What was her demeanor?
Happy. She had the best party. She loved her presents, her gifts. She had a lot of money. So she was showing me all that.
Okay. So how was her sleeping habits? I know you said she was up and at 'em in the morning. Is she, because some kids like to sleep all day, some kids get up and then they're ready to go. What's she like?
So when she sleeps with me and I have to wake her up, she's difficult. She'll snooze 3-4 times. We'll hit the alarm a few times, let it ring, and then go back to sleep. Let it ring and then go back to sleep. When it's her waking up herself and she sets her own alarms on her phone, which is what I think she did that morning, she usually gets up pretty quickly. She doesn't snooze. She'll get up, she'll immediately go do what she needs to do, and then she'll either lay back down in bed and snooze until it's time to go, or
I would love to validate that and see if Maddie, if that's actually true, or if she's trying to cover for, like, trying to make it seem like Maddie would be sleeping in the car with Stefan during that time period. Ryan, that's a good speculation. Ryan said, I still think it's possible that the flat tire wasn't an accident. It gave Stefan a reason to be in that area that he put Maddie, plus gave him an excuse for the finger injury. I don't think that he would want to be caught or seen anywhere where he put Maddie personally. But if he did have a finger injury, let's say that like she bit him or something, and then I could see that as a possibility for like, okay, well now how am I going to say this happened? I would have had to smash my finger. How could I smash my finger? And the tire was so shredded, you wouldn't be able to tell if he like stuck a knife in it or something. Because it was like shredded, like he drove on it for a long time, and I never thought about that. So I think that's possible. He could have stabbed it and then drove on it so much that it was completely shredded, so you couldn't see where he stabbed it with like a knife or something, and then used the excuse of changing the tire as a reason for pinching his thumb. if he had the finger injury somehow else. That's interesting. Definitely a possible speculation.
Or yeah, just be ready to go.
Do you take her to school?
Yeah.
Okay. When you take her to school, where do you drop her off at?
At the school.
Okay, so you pull in through the line and drop her off at the front and stuff like
Yeah.
that. When she goes to school, when you take her to school, is she talkative in the car, or what does she do on the way there?
Not really. She'll be on her phone. We'll listen to the radio station, or listen to some Taylor Swift. Yeah, she's pretty quiet. She'll be snoozing, sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So
She made sure to add that she'll be snoozing, kind of sleeping. You think Jen told him, Flora? Evil must not win, said Artemis. Artemis, I agree with that. That's another weird thing for me. Jen Soto's alarm wakes Stefan Stearns up, but Maddie's alarm doesn't. And that was another excuse. She didn't want Maddie's alarm waking her up. So that's been weird for me too.
going back to Stefan, was Stefan at the party?
No.
No, okay.
He was traveling from Northport, Florida to
Where's Northport?
Sarasota County.
Oh, okay.
See, that's always been my thought or speculation, that the tire was shredded so much because he had to drive out of town because Madeline's body would have been in the trunk. And so he had to basically get somewhere that he could put her body and get her out of the trunk before he changed the tire, in case somebody pulled up on him, like the police or like the people who actually saw him changing his tire. Like, how are you going to be sitting there changing a tire with a body in your trunk? That's always been my speculation on that. There probably would be teeth marks. But, I mean, we don't know yet until it goes to court. So I think it is a possibility. I don't see it out of the realm of possibilities. Yeah, that's another good point. Linda, if a child's so sleepy in the car, why would you drop them off so far from the school? Another great point.
And he got here when?
So if she got dropped off around 9:30, 8:30, he probably showed up around 8:45.
Did you know he was coming?
Yes.
Okay. So you guys hung out? What did you guys do that night? Okay.
Yeah. What did we do that night? I only spent about 30 minutes with them because I had to go to sleep. I had to take my meds and go to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that they needed to go to sleep because they had to go to school, or she had to go to school. I usually like making bedtime around 10:30. So when I got there and she was still up, I understood why she was still up. She was waiting for me and wanted to show me all her presents and stuff. But by 11, I was just like, you guys need to go to bed. It's late. Like, it's super late.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. I don't know what I was gonna say.
Is it normal if he comes to see you that he wouldn't sleep with you, or?
Yes, it's normal for him to sleep upstairs in the guest bedroom.
Okay. What makes it different from when he sleeps with you or the three of you or upstairs by himself?
It all depends on the circumstance of what's going on. For the most part, if it's a school week and me have to go to school, I send them upstairs because I know that my alarms are going to go off multiple times super early in the morning and I don't want to wake him up.
So if it's a school night, she sends them upstairs because his alarm's going to go off and wake her up, or whatever she just said in the morning. I don't want to wake him up, and then difficult to wake up. So that tells me that they're sleeping upstairs every single school night. Every single school night. What? That's really concerning because that's what she just said, no? Every time he's there, she sends them upstairs to go to bed because she doesn't want to wake him up with the alarms or them to wake her up or whatever she just said. I'm going to play it back again because that's going to be important. That makes more sense. That would explain how he was able to get 1,700 images of himself abusing this child.
I had to go to sleep. I had to take my meds and go to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that they need to go to sleep because they have to go to school, or she had to go to school. I usually like making bedtime around 10:30. So when I got there and she was still up, I understood why she was still up. She was waiting for me and wanted to show me all her presents and stuff. By 11, I was just like, you guys need to go to bed. It's late. Like, it's super late. Sorry. I forgot what I was gonna say.
Is it normal if he comes to see you that he wouldn't sleep with you, or?
Yes, it's normal for him to sleep upstairs in the guest bedroom.
Okay. What makes it different from when he sleeps with you or the three of you or upstairs by himself?
Right here.
It all depends on the circumstance of what's going on. For the most part, if it's a school week and me have to go to school, I send them upstairs because I know that my alarms are going to go off multiple times super early in the morning and I don't want to wake him up. And it's difficult to wake up. So I have to constantly be talking to her, shaking her. So I, for the most part, it's me in the bed downstairs and he goes upstairs.
Okay. So that makes more sense. Okay, so what she's saying that she sends him upstairs on school nights, supposedly, and then because she doesn't want her alarm to wake him up, and she doesn't want to wake him up shaking Maddie to get her ready for school. So I misheard that. But I don't believe it, but that's not what she said. What I originally thought she said is not what she said. Bad girl said, I thought Maddie didn't get a lot of gifts. That's what we heard from Bestie, who was there, said she was upset because there was only one gift on the table.
What made it different that night? For
The fact that I forgot my bipolar meds Saturday night and I was not acting normal Sunday. And I realized Sunday night, oh my God, I forgot my meds Saturday night, which is why I've been so freaking weird today. I'm like, I need to take these meds and I need to sleep. I need like a good night's sleep. I can't wake up early in the morning. I can't take her. I can't do any of that. Like, I need you to do it. That's primarily the reason I told him to come from Northport, Florida to help me was this week because of training at work. I needed help. I needed support.
You needed help and support. You needed him to come all the way from Northport, Florida because you forgot your meds the Saturday night before. Like, have you never adulted in your whole entire life, ma'am?
So I invited him up to help me with that.
How long have you guys been together?
On and off for a total of 7 years.
Okay. Did you work on Monday?
No, I was off.
You were off. Okay.
You were off Monday, could take a nap, could sleep anytime during the day that you wanted to after you did your blood appointment, and you still needed him to come up.
So Monday during the day, what would you do throughout the day?
I had a blood work appointment at 10:15, 10:30. That took a little while to be seen.
Did Stefan go with you?
No. He was not home he had not gotten home by the time I left.
Do you remember what time you left?
Around, I think 9:30.
And where was your blood work at?
About 15 minutes away.
Which way? Towards Kissimmee or Orlando?
Towards Orlando. It's on the border of Kissimmee, Orlando. It's in the loop. It's across the street from the loop. There's a doctor plaza there. There's a LabCorp there. So I went to LabCorp and I got blood work done.
Okay.
Waited there for a while. Then I must have gotten home sometime between, I would say 11:15, 11:30, something like that, or from 11 to 11:30 sometime. And he was there. But before that, while I was at my blood work appointment, he actually called me. He said, hey, I'm so sorry. I left my phone at home. I was running some errands. We did great this morning. We made super great time. She got ready super fast. We left super early. I offered her McDonald's multiple times, but she refused. So she asked to be dropped off early. And so he did.
Does she ever go to school and does she ever ask to go? Because sometimes kids don't want to go to school, period. Is it normal for her to ask to be dropped off early?
Yes, sometimes.
Okay.
She's asked me multiple times. multiple times to ask her to drop her off early. She wants to meet up with her friends, or she wants to get there earlier and earlier just to meet up with her or with her friends.
First it was sometimes, and then it was multiple times. I don't know of a child that wants to go to school early, like ever.
But you still drop her off at the school.
Yes.
Okay. So she hangs out with her friends within the school.
Yes.
Okay.
The only reason I think he did not take her to school directly that morning is because she has voiced multiple times, hey, is Stefan taking me to school? Can you please drop me off far away? She's embarrassed by his car. It's a Cadillac. It's not that old, but to her, it's an old hoopty. She can't be seen in it. She doesn't want to be seen in it.
But everybody else said that Stefan has never taken her to school and it was not normal. There is no emotion from Jen whatsoever, even when she's shown the pictures. Like, I certainly didn't want to go to school early either. If I did get there early, I hung out with my friends in the Commons area. Hello, Watts the Obsession True Crime. Watts the Obsession said it's absolutely insane that this woman has not been charged. I'm getting ready for the possibility that she's not going to be. I'm thinking about how can we handle this legislatively. Yeah, if the DA doesn't have enough evidence to charge her, then they're not going to. And I don't know. I think there's enough to charge her with at least neglect. Maybe they're waiting for after the trial. I genuinely have no idea. It's sad.
So she's made that comment before, please drop me off far away. I want to walk.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. When you look at the car, to me, it looks like a normal car. It looks old, but.
Gotcha. Okay, so what's your and Stefan's relationship like?
So it's a little complicated. I want to say we're on again, off again. When he had moved back down to Northport in December, we were broken up, but we still kissed. We're still affectionate.
Why did you guys break up? If you don't mind me asking.
Because in my eyes, he's very childish. Well, not childish. He's just very sloppy. He's very messy. He doesn't clean up after himself. He doesn't help around the house or contribute. And I felt like I was the only one doing the household chores and the cleaning and the cooking and stuff. And I'm just like, listen, I know I'm disabled and I don't work, but I kind of, it needs to be fair. Like, you need to help me out and be a partner. And I didn't feel like he was being a partner. Yeah, that's pretty much why. There's nothing major happened, anything like that. It's just my feelings of, I was just tired of cleaning up after him and tired of not having the partner that I wanted.
And when you guys got back together?
But you got back together with him and were considering letting him move back in. There's info from Chris, how many times he took her. Hey, Mrs. Weird. Mrs. Weird said she needed help from a man who she broke up with because of his lazy messiness. Right. Make it make sense, please.
Together, or on and off, as you said, that's been since he's left, or just more recent?
I want to say more recent. We were still kissing while we were broken up and all that. So
would he come here? Would you go there?
He would come here. He's only been gone for the last 2 months. So he's come here those few times.
Okay. What about your guys' sexual relationship?
I haven't wanted to have sex in a very long time, but that's due to my psychiatric medications. It just completely kills anything down there. It's not enjoyable. It's not fun for me. So I don't have sex. And I think that was a big problem not a big problem, but of course an issue in our relationship.
Did he ever mention that to you?
I know he had told me he was like,
Blue Sapphire says no mother sends their prepubescent daughter to sleep with their boyfriend after claiming fear of the Woody Allen syndrome. Exactly. Exactly. That's why everybody has such a freaking problem with this woman.
Like frustrated, I guess.
So you just mentioned that he has mentioned being frustrated, I guess. So you send your daughter to go upstairs and sleep with him after you know he's sexually frustrated because you're not giving him any.
I'm gonna use the word frustrated.
Okay.
But I know he's had sexual relations with other people. But I'm not bothered by that. That's whatever he needs to do. Yeah.
Whatever he needs to do.
Well, obviously there's a little bit of, actually, I don't want to get to that yet. Who drives your car?
Primarily me.
Okay.
On Monday night, he drove my car.
Monday night when?
After we went to bed, after the cops had been called and all that, he took my car and decided to drive around to see if he could keep searching for her, looking for her, seeing if there was anything.
What time was that? Do you remember?
I don't know. I know he took my car and left because when I got into the front seat of the car had been adjusted.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "Remember I said I was going to go out?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's right. You did tell me that you were going to go out."
And you found nothing interesting, nothing wrong with that. Even though your child's missing, he's done a factory reset and there's a donut on his tire. And there is, Stefan's dad did talk about how many times, I don't know if he talked about how many times Madeline was taken to school by Stefan or not, because I don't think that's something he would have necessarily known because he wasn't in the house. Yeah. It's, I can't stand the way she says things. Oh, you're good, Artemis. Yeah, they do need an anti-manipulative task force to question her. And they do go harder on her in the next interview, and we do luckily have video of that, but it's just, I mean, for what? To what end? Because she's still not charged.
I don't remember. He never told me what time or anything. But he did mention earlier Monday, I'm going to drive around. I can't just sit at home. I need to be looking for her. And I'm just like, okay, that's fine.
You remember if that was in the evening or like sometime before midnight, after midnight?
Oh, before midnight.
Okay.
I go to bed. Well, that's Monday night. Not sure what time I went to bed Monday night. I want to say before midnight because I had to take my meds and I had to go to sleep. They only work if I take them the right way, my meds. So I have to follow a strict routine with them. Yeah, I'm going to say it was before midnight.
Okay, and then when you got into your car, when you didn't notice that the car was, or the seat was back?
Yesterday, whenever we got kicked out of the house, whenever they told us we couldn't go back in, forensics was coming.
Mm-hmm.
I got into the car and I was like, "Oh, the seat's adjusted." I'm like, "Did you get in it?" He's like, "Yeah, I took a drive last night. Remember?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, you did. You told me that."
So Monday night, did you ever come here to the sheriff's office Monday night?
No.
No? Okay. Did Stefan come here
I don't think
that
so.
you know of? Okay. Do you know? Were they talked to here or?
No, they were talked at her mom's place of business originally where they did the report.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have been in contact with her at her apartment, but that was after the initial report was made.
That was last night.
Yes. Yesterday, the other detective, Frank, responded around 10 o'clock in the morning and started looking at the school. I'm not sure when the initial contact was made with her. I want to say it was like around 11 or 12, right? At your apartment. And we've been in contact with her since then.
Okay. All right. Now, I understand that a detective recently showed you some pictures of not so pleasant things. Okay. What was discussed at that point?
They asked me if I recognized the penis.
Mm-hmm.
In one image, I didn't. In the other image, not that I recognized the penis exactly, but I recognized the things around the penis.
Again, how are you with this man for 7 years and don't know what his member looks like, especially when there's such a distinguishable mark of it being pink, a quarter of the length down the member, and there's a black freckle?
Mm-hmm.
And
Like what, clothing or?
Clothing and like a pillowcase
Okay.
that was like underneath the penis in the picture. So I recognized that.
Whose clothing? Did she recognize his boxers or something Maddie was wearing? And if she recognized something Maddie was wearing, why does she want to see another picture of it? Why do you want to see another picture of it if you know the clothing that was there and you know the pillowcase and you know what happened at your house? Why are you asking again to see another picture?
Did he explain to you where those images came from?
You said Stefan's one?
Mm-hmm.
Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. Did he explain to you the content of those pictures?
Mr. Rooster Man's out here. I'll show y'all what he looks like real quick. He's outside the window today. Hold on. This is what you hear right now. I wonder if he heard it and is going to do it back. I was just letting y'all know it is from me.
I'm not sure. Just explain that they were in his phone, that there's evidence that they've been sexually active or doing things since she...
You can barely hear her, again, talking like a child that's in trouble, that's being punished. Yeah, it's yay chickens when they're my landlord's chickens, but when she gives me some of them eggs that they lay and we eat them, yep, I'm like, yay chickens. He is the Mac Daddy Rooster. Those are his ladies.
What's Stefan's relationship with? What's their relationship like?
I was gonna say really good, super great. He treats her like one of his own. He's always been super sweet and kind to her, very accepting, warming, understanding of her because she's got ADHD.
He treats her like one of his own. Again, I mean, just repeating what he said, in my opinion. And she's talking so low you can barely hear her.
Kind of a little, I'll say abnormal.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like she doesn't act like every other kid.
Even when she's talking about how he treats Madeline, she's still really low. But if she was talking about Stefan alone, it would be higher and she would be more excited.
But you have to have extra patience and understanding for her. And he does that really well.
And she's now, right, from what I understand. When she's around Stefan, does she act any different?
No, she's happy. She's like, hey, how are you? But she doesn't act any differently or weird around him.
There's no really easy way to ask this, but do you think it's possible that Stefan and her are having a sexual relationship?
Before those images, I would have said absolutely not.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're telling me that on the other side of that penis that they showed me was her with her mouth, then there's nothing else I can believe that has to be true. But before that evidence, I would have said no.
Has Stefan always been, like, when you guys communicate and talk, or have you ever caught him in any kind of lies or not being truthful or anything like that? So he's been honest about everything, as far as you know?
As far as I know.
But you know that he lies to his parents, he steals from them, and he manipulates them. But yet you think that he's been completely 100% honest with you, never stolen from you, never lied to you, never manipulated you. Why? Why do you trust him that damn much? What has he told you to make you trust him that damn much?
I've never had to question. If I've had questions, I've had answers. So it was never. I never suspected anything.
How long have you been living?
I lived in that house on and off.
Okay, so 13 years, roughly.
Um,
Where else did you live other than that?
for a little while, I moved into my mother's house during COVID.
Where did she live? Okay.
And then during COVID, it was another situation where he got promised the job down there and it didn't happen. We moved down there, got an apartment, and lived there for somewhere between 6 to 8 months. And then
Watts the Obsession said, okay, what the fuck? She's like, hey, how are you? What the fuck? And how she describes Maddie all the time is requiring extra patience. F off, lady. She's a beautiful child. I'm so enraged about this right now. Right. She never talks nicely about Maddie. Ever. It's always things like that.
Down where?
I'm sorry, to Port Charlotte, Florida,
Okay.
which is next to Sarasota County. It's in Charlotte County.
Fire in the
we
hole.
moved down to Port Charlotte during the whole COVID, where everyone was quarantining time. We moved during that time and stayed in Port Charlotte.
What about Stefan? How long has Stefan lived in?
I'll say on and off for 7 years or 6 years. The first year we were dating, we were just, he was still staying at his parents.
Where does his parents live?
At the time, they lived in Winter Garden, Florida, but now they live in Northport, Florida. That's who he lived with down there.
Oh, okay. What about family? Any other family around here?
Who, him? No. I think he's got distant relatives, but nobody he's ever talked to like that.
What about friends or?
I agree, yeah.
Yes, are all your friends in?
All of his friends are in Northport, Florida. He made a big group of gaming friends down there. He's got some coworkers he talks to here. But no one I've seen him hang out with lately.
Okay. What about you? Are your friends or?
Sorry. Do you mind stepping up for a second?
Yep. Give me 1 second, okay?
1 second. I'm so sorry. Yeah, no worries.
You think so, Lori? You think it was Orange County that blew the everything with Jen? Well, yeah, be careful, Michelle. I know what's different in this relationship, in this interview, is how she describes the relationship between Stefan and Maddie. Oh yeah, I love all of y'all being here and all of your comments too. I think that Jen was jealous of Madeline too. I think she was very jealous of Madeline. And I think she resented Madeline. And that makes it possible that she committed the homicide. This was interesting to me. All the pictures of the trash cans, they're looking, in my opinion, for pregnancy tests. We did do, we zoomed way in on all of this, and I found one thing that was questionable in the bathroom upstairs, but I think that's why all of the pictures of the trash cans. Your thumbs up number 238. There's not even 238 people in here. Wow, that's amazing. Thank you for letting me know that. Aw, Brenda. I love our speculating family. Maybe, but if they're just so jaded with so many cases, why isn't she charged? Well, we have that with oh gosh, I forgot her name. The female detective. She like cuts Stefan no motherfucking breaks, and she's in this interview. Oh, Linda, thank you so much for the super sticker. That's a little like fox or cat, and he's smiling. That's so cute. Thank you so much for the support and the super sticker. I really appreciate that. Detective Kevin was good. I like the chickens too. I'm hoping to move where I can have some chickens. She just got some baby chickens. I said I want one so bad that damn chicken would be walking around my house. I wouldn't even put it outside. JPL, good to see you. Yeah, it is so sickening that her mother would be jealous of her. Thank you for letting me know that it's Detective Tangler. And then to know that she put her in that situation. Like, even if she didn't know anything, which I highly, highly doubt, she was so jealous of her, she didn't see the damn forest for the trees. She didn't see what was going on because she's so damn jealous of her, in my opinion.
Sorry.
Oh shit! Sorry, I'm so sorry. I have a horrible potty mouth.
So also we were talking about Stefan's relationship with her. When you and your how do you and your daughter communicate? Like if you aren't in the same room,
How do we communicate?
like texts.
No, we speak to each other.
Okay, so you call each other on the phone.
If she's in the same room?
No, if you guys aren't in the same room.
Oh.
Like if she's out with her friends or you're at work or.
Call or text, but she's really bad about responding. She'll put her phone on silent or do not disturb.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes she'll respond, sometimes she won't.
Okay. How do you and Stefan normally communicate?
Via Google Meet, which is the video, not FaceTime, but the video chat for Android.
Okay.
We'll video chat pretty much all day.
Okay. Does and Stefan ever talk on the phone?
Yeah.
How do they do that? How do they normally communicate?
Video chat as well.
Okay.
But when she's on video chat, she's video chatting next to me, and we're all part of the conversation. They never go off on by themselves and have their own conversation. It's always all of us together.
Okay.
If that's true, how did you not know anything? How did you not pick up on anything? Wow, that's a lot of likes. Thank you. All I need is Jesus. Jeepers Creepers said, the more you listen to this idiot, the angrier you get, and the more you realize she's covering for him every step of the way. I agree. If you were always there during the conversations, how did you not see anything and not know anything?
Do they talk quite a bit? You know?
See, well, I'll say yes, because we're all in the conversation together and we stay on the phone for hours together.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. But that's all of us together.
Got it. Normal times of the day. I know kids sometimes are up late at night talking on the phone or anything like that. If Stefan's in Northport at home or with his parents and you guys are here and you guys are all talking, is it when normal people talk or in the early in the morning or
After school and before bedtime.
okay. Do you know if ever has conversations with Stefan outside of your presence? Like, do they talk on the phone?
It's possible, but if I'm at home, I would know.
Gotcha.
Because she's always in my.
But you just said that there's never a conversation that takes place unless you're there and present. But now you're saying it's possible that they talk when you're not aware of it.
My bedroom. She's hanging out in my bedroom or in her space, but
Mhm.
I can hear her in her bedroom or I can hear her from my bedroom. So I would know.
Okay. Now this is kind of going to get into a sensitive subject, which
If you would know about conversations they had because you would hear her in your bedroom or in her bedroom, but I mean, what about the conversations they have when you send your 12-year-old daughter upstairs to sleep with a grown-ass man? What about those conversations?
and I apologize. But there were images on his phone of them two being involved in a relationship. Now,
It's not a relationship. It's horrible, horrific abuse. Hey, Kalisa.
has she ever disclosed to you or anything like that? If anything like that has happened between them? No. Okay. Has he ever mentioned to you, like, is he into any kind of, like, does he watch porn or any that you know of?
I'm sure he does, but
Does he watch it around you or? I know.
She was really upbeat just now when she was like, I'm sure he does. Notice she was talking about Stefan. When they asked her about Maddie, she couldn't even answer out loud. She just shook her head no.
Some relationships, girlfriends go on guys' phones, guys go on girls' phones just to look, be nosy. Do you do any of that sort of thing, or does he do that to your phone or anything like that?
should we too much respect each other's privacy?
What about you and you ever go through her phone at all?
Sometimes, but not as much as I should probably.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
Because you trust her.
Yeah, I've gone through it.
The actual answer to that is no, I do not go through her phone. Because when she says sometimes, but not as often as I should, that's her lying to try to make herself look like a good mother.
Okay. Anything abnormal that you would see on
Hey,
her
Gwen.
phone? Not that you thought, or
No, I'm saying
you've
like
never...
I've never seen anything,
Gotcha.
no, but I'm
Got it,
saying
okay.
if you guys saw something, then I missed it.
No, I'm not saying that we have.
Okay.
No. Stefan's phone is a different story.
Just going back to the comment you made about how you know that he was sexually active with someone else during your relationship. How did that come about?
Because we had broken up, and I found out about it later. But there was a girl he had been hanging out with, a coworker. This is about over a year ago. He started hanging out with a coworker, and I had suspicions that they were sleeping together, but I would ask.
Hearts My Face Forever said Jen can hear Maddie in her bedroom. That's important because anything happened in that room while Jen was home could be heard by her. And that is important because they said that abuse happened in that room and in room number 4. And now that you mention that, I do believe room number 4 is above her room. And you would hear things going on in there too.
Ask, and he wouldn't confirm or say anything like that. But he didn't confirm until a few months later that, yeah, they in fact did sleep together. And I was just like, wow, okay, good to know. I was just checking to see if I had slept with him after that. And like, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't want to have sex with him after he's had sex with somebody else. So when he told me that, I was just checking with myself to see if that had happened, and I hadn't. So.
And this got brought up on a conversation of you asking him if he was sexually active with someone during your breakup, or did you find something on his phone, or was he texting off to the side?
It was a conversation that we had. He just told me.
He just told you he had relations with somebody else, and you said because you didn't want to have relations with him when he had been with somebody else, but you haven't been active with him in over a year. So, because you're making it seem like you had this conversation right before y'all were about to be intimate, or when you were like considering the possibility of being intimate with him, and you asked him, had you been with somebody else, that you were talking because you knew he was talking to them while he was hanging out with her. They were coworkers, And that's how you found that out. Like, that doesn't make sense to me if you hadn't been sexually active with him in so long. Chrysamir, thank you so much for being here. And that's such a sweet thing to say. I really appreciate you dropping in and commenting. That was so very sweet of you. I'm glad you found us. John B, welcome in and thank you for being here. She mentioned several times that Stefan had his own apartment when he moved out, but then corrects herself to prevent detectives from investigating and searching his new apartment. I don't remember that. You'd have to tell me where it was from. I remember they had an apartment, but I don't remember him having his own apartment. I would think if he had his own apartment, he would be at home with his parents instead of spending money, you know, because he's such a lazy POS.
Was it a cordial conversation, or were you guys angry, or?
No.
Oh.
Sorry, when was the last time you guys were sexually active?
December of not December 2023, but December 2022.
Okay.
At that point, I had decided that I wasn't interested in sex. I wasn't. My meds just really affected me, and I was just like, you know what? I think it took a while to figure out that it was my meds. I was trying to figure out if it was like my hormones or my body, like what was going on, but it was just my meds. We narrowed it down to that. So when I realized that what was happening, I just had to accept it, because it's either come off my meds or fix my sex drive. Well, come off my meds, fix my sex drive, or stay on my meds. I'm gonna stay on my meds. Like, I need to stay stable. So yeah.
Oh, my meds. Always my meds.
Where have you guys been staying? I know you said they kicked you out of your apartment or whatever, but while they were at your apartment, where were you guys staying?
At a hotel right off the Disney property, Home Suites by Marriott or something like that, on Western Way, off of 429.
Okay. Did so you and Stefan have been together pretty much the whole time after? Have you guys always been together, or has there been times that you stay at the hotel or you work in and him be out by himself?
When I woke up this morning, he wasn't there, and he was gone for about an hour. But he came back and he said he had gotten some Wawa, and then he got lost because he didn't have his GPS or phone on him or anything like that.
And you never found any of that to be questionable at all while your child's missing?
So took him a while to get back to the hotel, but he found us eventually. I wondered that. I was just like, he left the hotel and didn't have a phone on him, didn't tell me where he went. I'm like, how is he going to find his way back? I don't think he even paid attention to how I got here, because I'm the one who drove. I'm the one who knew where the hotel was. I was like, I don't know if he's going to figure it out, but he did. But he was gone for about, I wouldn't say an hour.
He was gone for like 7 hours.
Okay.
John B, I'm going to look for that.
Right now.
I'll look for that.
feel
Thank
like,
you for telling me.
Can I see that image of my daughter with the penis in her mouth? Because I feel like unless
Y'all, if you ever hear anybody say the statement, can I see that image with the picture of my daughter with the penis in her mouth? Just go on ahead and grab the cuffs. That's just that. Like, how does that statement, those sequence of words come out of your mouth without you just, wait a minute, what am I doing here? What's going on? Let me stop and reevaluate. What the Sam hell, ma'am?
I'm not going to believe it until I have confirmation, and I'm always going to have doubts unless I actually see it myself. And I don't want to leave here today and never have the opportunity again. Like, I want to.
No, I don't mind showing you, but
I don't want to leave here again. I don't want to leave here today and never have the opportunity to see a picture of my minor child with my boyfriend's penis in her mouth. Okay. Right. Okay.
they are difficult things to see from a parent. You understand?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just the one image.
I'm not sure which picture they showed you earlier. I don't think we might have the same pictures. We do have different pictures, but I don't know if I have the same one that the other detective showed you.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Do you still want to look?
Yes. Am I gonna clearly see her face?
Yes.
What? Ma'am.
And prior to this, have you known her to be sexually active
Straight to
with
jail.
any boyfriends or friends?
Straight to jail.
That one right there is a no.
You saw through the picture?
I could, but you can turn it around if you want.
If you want, you don't have to turn it around. If you want to turn it around, you can. It's enough.
Is that? Do you recognize anybody else that may be in that photo? I know basically it's only genitalia, but is there anything else in that photo that stands out to you? Anything in the background?
Is this a picture of a picture? Is this a picture of a phone? Like, is this background
Yes.
now?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
let me see.
Your next reaction is this a picture of a picture? Let me see. Is this a picture of a picture? Like, just nonchalant, like we're having a cup of coffee. Jesus. Take the wheel. Take the whole damn car off the cliff.
There's not much space. Okay.
If you don't mind asking, who keeps calling?
Everyone, the
Or
news,
the family and everything.
my family, they're all trying to figure out if I was the news, because last they heard I was going to the news conference.
This is the one I couldn't figure out if. Can you see my mouse? No. Hold on. You can't see my mouse. So if you look at the oh yeah, you can see it now. Okay. This right here, I was questioning, is that a pregnancy test? Do you know what a pregnancy test look like, right? Like all the way at the back here, could that be a pregnancy test like that's down in the bag? I'm wondering. This was in the upstairs bathroom with the roommates. She is covering for him and herself. Michelle. Yeah, I'm triggered too. My heart hurts for her too. She's straight to jail. Jesus, take the wheel and drive the car, slap off a cliff. I can't. Just slap off a cliff. Get it over with.
And that I was gonna watch that, but that's not what happened. So they all want an update and see where I'm at and what I'm doing and what's the latest. But
Yeah, you can let them know that the reason it's taken so long is now this is now like a semi-police investigation.
Yeah.
Okay. I know this may not make sense to you, but amongst us it does. Sometimes when people call the police and then want to file a report, there's jurisdictional lines that we got to follow. Okay.
Yeah.
So being that she was dropped off at school, that would make it Orange counties. Okay. But now we can't definitively say she was dropped off at school. We believe she was. We got to go on. We definitely know 100% that she was at home at your house on her way to school. So that's why we're involved. Okay. Does that make sense to you now? Okay. I can't think of anything else right now for her. Anything else that we may miss that?
I know that you said that Stefan was out, right, looking for her that night. Do you remember what time he came back? Like when you woke up, was Stefan home?
Yes.
What time did you wake up?
Can I look at my phone and tell you?
Yeah, of course.
Exactly. Because it was phone calls that one. Let me see if I can find it. We're talking about Tuesday morning, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And while you're looking for the time, was there any specific reason on why he wanted to use your car instead of his?
Because he had just gotten a flat tire, so he's got a donut on one of the back wheels. And I told him not to drive the car because you can't drive very much on a donut, right? Like
Okay.
not fast and not far. So
Did he explain any, like, how the flat tire happened on the car, or
he was just
where
driving
he
down.
was when it?
And he was just driving down 192, and then he felt like a wobble or something weird. And then he pulled over and saw that the tire had like just shredded, just fell apart. So he pulled over into a plaza and changed the tire.
Do you know where about?
He said somewhere.
You didn't find any of it weird. And he's not driving his car because you can't go far and long distances on a donut. Where exactly did you think he was going? Did you know he was going back out to where she was at? Where is it that you think he needs to go that's a long distance that you can't go fast in the car with the donut to the extent that he has to drive your car? I mean, if he's just going to the Wawa or something like that, or, driving around the neighborhood to look for her, there's no reason for him to drive your car. He's not going far away, long distances, driving fast. Now, if you knew he was driving a couple of hours away, yeah, that's why you let him drive your car. But that doesn't even make any sense because, again, where is he going that's long and far away? Unless you knew where he was actually going, because he actually did go long and far away, but supposedly you didn't know that. Make that make sense. And why did he get a flat tire the day that your daughter goes missing?
Somewhere on 182, he doesn't know exactly where because everything looks the same to him.
Interesting, ma'am.
He doesn't know what business he may have stopped at or where. But I will tell you, Stefan also has ADHD. He's also very forgetful. It's like having my child. They're both the same. They both have ADHD. They're both very forgetful. They both have time blindness, which means they lose track of time. They if they don't have a watch on them at all times, they've lost track of time. They don't know how long they've been taking. My daughter will take an hour or more long shower, not realizing she's been in the shower for very long. They're both the same in that respect. He's also on medication, which is making him super forgetful. It's an anxiety.
Is this new for him, or has he always had this?
Stefan, he's always had ADHD. I want to say that's probably one of the reasons I broke up with him too. Was it's the ADHD part that just it's hard to manage and control, right? It's just how you are, and it's just a lot of those little things that it was just too much for me. And I'm sorry, what were you saying?
No, it's okay.
Yeah, so right now,
But he doesn't remember where he got this flat tire.
And he changed it himself, he said?
yes.
Okay.
And he said he hurt himself while doing it. I think his thumb got caught in between the thing that cranks the car up and like the frame.
Mhm.
Something twisted and fell on his finger, and he said he yanked out his finger really fast and hurt himself.
All right, so he used your car because of the flat tire. Okay. And then
Linda, we did discuss that briefly a few minutes ago. Hey, Thea Marie. Yeah, it's disgusting. All of it is absolutely disgraceful.
you find the time.
Oh, sorry. I woke up around 8 o'clock in the morning on Tuesday.
And he was home.
Yes.
Was he awake, sleeping, or what was he doing?
asleep.
Okay. And then do you know if at any point during any of this, like if he's showered, he's changed?
No.
Not that you have physically seen?
No, I haven't seen him shower or change.
Okay.
Do you recognize that phone number?
No.
She says here that he never changed. And if she says at the interview in April that he was wearing the Deadpool shirt and she rode with him here, or she's seen him that day and sees that now he's wearing the blue shirt, she again obviously just lied. Because she says he was in the Deadpool shirt or a red graphic t-shirt, which is the Deadpool shirt. And then here he's in the blue shirt that we see him in the video interview.
Oh, sorry, we're almost done.
No worries.
I think he showered. I'm not sure if he showered. I don't think he showered Sunday night. I think it must have been Monday morning sometime.
Monday morning?
Yeah, because there is a towel in my bathroom that's not ours, not mine, that's hanging there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I recall him telling me he was going to take a shower, but I just don't remember when exactly.
Okay. Does anybody else use this bathroom?
Okay.
Just me and Stefan.
So there, I guess she fixes it and says, I do remember him taking a shower. Yeah, no, yeah. Sorry, we're almost done, as if Jen is inconvenienced. I think somebody came in, but yeah, I get it. I mean, and I agree. She's been on the phone several times. She's asking about the press conference. She wants to get out of that room because she feels the heat, in my opinion, and she wants to get out the kitchen.
You say you had 2 roommates.
Yeah.
What are their names?
Do you want the last name as well?
Please.
Okay. Last name. And
Do you happen to
then
know her phone number?
she only speaks Spanish though, so if somebody in Spanish is going to call her.
Sure, we can find somebody who speaks Spanish.
I speak Espanol.
And who's the other one? Okay. How long have you guys been roommates with each other?
Almost 3 years. With almost 2.
So I'm not sure if you guys went to the house at all.
You were there, but not inside.
Okay, so these bedrooms are numbered. So do you know which room is
His room is number 3.
number 3?
And room is number 2.
Okay. Like if you actually physically are there, each door has a number.
Okay.
Genevieve, I've got a couple cast iron skillets, and I got a bunch of grits I need to cook too. Wish I could invite them over.
Gotcha.
And do you guys rent to a separate landlord? Like does someone own that specific unit?
No, my dad.
Okay. So your dad owns it and then he rents out rooms? It looks like.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess he showered Monday morning. I'm sure it was a monumental event.
How did you meet them? Who are they in relation to you?
I've known her since my sister was in middle school. They're middle school best friends. So we've known her, I'd say more than half her life now, 20 plus years. Met her on Facebook Marketplace almost 3 years ago when she rented.
Looking for a place to
Yeah,
live.
looking for a place, yeah.
How old is
They did. They went to the house. They took photos and everything. But they asked them this. They asked her this to see what her response is going to be.
31, 32.
Okay, so they're both a little older.
Yeah. And
Whoa, 31 is not
Well,
old, okay?
36. Sorry.
and her is 33, I think.
Okay.
You since you mentioned Facebook Marketplace, have any social media?
She's got a Instagram.
Okay. Do you happen to know her Instagram name?
Yeah.
Or if you can pull up her page, that'd be great.
Right?
Do you mind if I take a picture of it?
Yeah, go ahead.
What about Stefan? Does he have social media?
Like she
I think, I'm not sure I don't think he's got.
like she can't remember, but he's all the time on Reddit in teenage chats and things.
Yes. So he's got Facebook, he's got an Instagram, and he's got a Reddit. Possibly Discord as well, which is like a chat app.
Do you have his Instagram that you can show me? And what about his Facebook?
What's happened to stuff? Actually, can you guys update me on what's happening with Stefan at this point?
So we're like he said, we're gonna.
What's happening with Stefan? Not have you heard anything about my child? None of that. What's happening with Stefan? John B said, what about when they gave the search dog clothes to smell and Jen tries to give them stuff that's not recent or in the hamper because she knows Stefan's stern smell is all over them? That's an interesting question. Or point.
We're gonna get all the same information that Orange County got from you. So that right now we're kind of starting at the bottom and working our way up.
We're gonna go talk to him now.
Yep.
Oh, after me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So just so we know a little bit more about it, I know you mentioned something about gaming, or is that like one of his things to do? Gaming? What is he into?
He's into
Like, what does he do on a daily basis? Obviously, he lives in North Florida. What's he into?
So, one thing. Another thing Stefan's got mental health wise is insomnia. He doesn't sleep well, and he's got also sleep apnea. So when he sleeps, he stops breathing and doesn't get good rest. His brain is always telling him to wake up and breathe. So he's always constantly being woken up. He doesn't get good sleep. Because of this, he spends the majority of his day sleeping, just trying to get some rest, but it's a stupid cycle with sleep apnea. He'll spend the majority of his day sleeping. When he does wake up, he'll play a game called World of Warcraft, which is a video game. Or he'll meet up with his friends and play tabletop gamings, like battle, like they battle each other with little toys.
Cards or
not toys, they're little miniature figures.
Okay.
It's called Warhammer 40K. Just a tabletop tournament game. Like you're a weird race, you're a weird race of creature, and we're going to war with each other. Okay. So they're just trying to kill each other.
Battle each other.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's pretty much what he's into. Also, he collects.
She's talking really high and animated about Stefan and all the things he's into and all of the issues he has medically and everything that he does. Never once asked about Maddie. And if she has to talk about Maddie, she gets real low like a child that's in trouble.
Tamagotchis and Digimons. I don't know if you guys remember Tamagotchis from back in the day. Little creatures we used to take care of.
Alive.
Yeah. He has a bunch of those. I want to say that's right now. Those are his current hobbies.
And since you've known him for over 7 years, what are his triggers? Like, are there certain things that he gets upset about easily if you do or say, or I mean?
All of this right after she's found out about the CSAM images on the phone and seen pictures of them. No tears, no emotion, no nothing.
I know I can be a nag sometimes, and if I keep nagging, he'll get a little irritated. But I can't say I know what. I don't think he's got triggers.
Have you ever experienced him outlash, like to the extreme on anybody? You, any of his family, or does he ever hit you or
Oh,
discipline at all?
Oh no, never. I'll say he does have like a little bit of a temper, but it's not anything I've ever been afraid of or been like, oh my God, he's gonna hit me, or oh my God, he's about to abuse my child. Never like that.
Have you guys had any disagreements lately, recently?
No.
No, her sister was with her at her grandmother's office. Oh, yeah, good point, Blue Giraffe. She mentions him having breathing issues and not sleeping well, but it took her forever to remember Maddie used an inhaler. Again, because who's important to her? Not Maddie, it's Stefan. In my opinion.
All right. I think we're going to go talk to Stefan a little bit to see if he can maybe give a little bit more insight of what happened the day after you dropped her off.
Is he being placed under arrest because of those pictures?
Yeah, we haven't made that determination yet, but.
Is he being placed under arrest because of those pictures? Ma'am.
You being mom, do you want to press charges? Since she's a juvenile?
No fucking idea.
I have no idea.
I didn't think it was in my power. I thought you guys just automatically did it.
I thought you guys automatically did it.
What do you think should happen to him for these pictures?
It's crazy. Like I saw the pictures, but I'm still in denial because like there's a penis there.
Mm-hmm.
But
if you were actually in denial, you wouldn't know you were in denial.
Is he visual? Does he show up in any of the pictures? Is there? I mean, I don't know who's.
I haven't seen all of the pictures, so I can't answer that truthfully.
Because I can't.
Whether it's his penis or not, are you comfortable with him having content of someone else's penis in your daughter's mouth on his phone?
That makes sense.
No motherfucking crap.
Years old.
Absolutely not. No.
Have you and your daughter, or you ever talked about her being sexually active with anybody?
Drive the damn car right off a cliff. Right off a damn cliff. Are you freaking kidding me? She is a piece of work. She really the mother trucking is. It's Sunday. I'm trying to watch my mouth.
I've never even. Me assuming she had never been sexually active, I hadn't brought it up.
Has she ever had boyfriends in the past, or?
No, she's not allowed to date.
Okay. How does that make her feel? I know some teenagers want to have a boyfriend, and
Yeah, I think she was okay with it. She never complained and said, "Oh, mom, I really want to date this person, whatever." For a little while, she's like, "Mom, I have a crush on someone. Can they be my girlfriend or can they be my boyfriend?" And I'm just, I don't know if it was a boy or girl. And I said, "I think you're a little too young for that. Let's just wait till you're."
She doesn't even remember if her daughter liked boys or girls. Like you don't even remember the first crush your child has, if it was a boy or a girl. Like, again, tell me that you don't give a shit about Maddie. Everything is Stefan.
You're older, wait till you're older. And she was like, okay with that. Yeah, I know she recently had a crush on a boy, maybe. But
has she ever had boys at the house?
No.
Never had boys in the house. I was trying to highlight that. Hunter's Moon, thank you for the $5 to buy some more seeds. I've got cucumbers. The cucumbers are doing good right now, and the pumpkins are doing good. Thank you for that. That was so very sweet and supportive of you. I really appreciate that. So sweet. Thank you.
Have you ever had anybody at your house, any male friends at your house?
Not in years.
What about your roommates?
My roommate has a son who's 11 or 12,
Mm-hmm.
but he's darker skin complexion. I don't think that would be his penis.
So she's not allowed to have boyfriends. You've not had men in your house in years, and the little boy that lives there is darker skin complexion, so it's not his member. So therefore, who other's member is it, Jen? Who else's could it be? The mailman, the milkman?
Do your roommates have boyfriends?
Not that I know of. I don't think they do.
Would there be any reason for you to be alone with if they have boyfriends with any other male?
With any other male?
So what do you think should happen to Stefan?
No other male. So what do you think should happen to Stefan?
I'm afraid to say press charges. But what else?
I'm afraid to say press charges, but what else is there? God almighty Jesus. Straight apple clip.
There's a side of me that wants to say he's innocent if this doesn't happen, but who else's penis could that be?
Nope.
She's not left alone with anyone else.
Why would they be on his phone?
Yeah, why would they be on his phone exactly? I don't know what to do.
Okay, we can revisit that.
You don't know what to do?
Because after we're done talking to him, I'll probably come back and talk to you for a little bit, just to give you an update and stuff like that, okay?
You don't know what to do. You don't know if you want to press charges on this man who's been raping your child. And you mean to tell me you had no idea about this CSAM and somebody hadn't convinced you somehow that it was normal and it was okay? As a matter of fact, right after this interview, you call and try to get this man a damn attorney. Lord have mercy. Exile, excommunication, all the things. Holy water,
Can I
baths,
make one decision now and change my mind later?
3 times a day, minimum.
If I decide not to press charges now, could I change my mind and press charges later?
Can I change my mind later? If I don't do something right now, can I change my mind later? Pick me up off the floor because I'm fainting right now hearing this. Lord have mercy.
It's a lot to digest. Okay, so I don't want to make you answer that right now, you know. But when we come back, we'll talk more about it. Okay, when I come back.
Let's take some time to process everything.
Because you're going through a lot right now. But right now, I mean, in my eyes, it sounds bad, but almost secondary because we want to find out first. Then worry about this afterwards. She's our main focus.
That's where I'm at.
The
I know that the sexual act happened.
Nope. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Nope, nope, nope. No, ma'am. You're lying. You're lying.
A bullshit? A bullshit? A bullshit. A bullshit.
I want to choke her. I want to catch charge.
But I'm not convinced that he didn't take her to school. I'm not convinced that
God almighty Jesus.
he's the reason she's gone. Because if this had been going on for so long, what's the motive? Why Monday? Why that day? Why the day after her? When we were supposed to spend the entire week together and have such a great time. Like we had plans. Like we knew we were just going to be together that week and we were going to have a good time. So I just can't think like, why?
When you say what's the motive, what are you assuming?
Stefan had plans. Maddie had plans to move out and get away from all you freaking creepo people. She still ain't convinced. Can't convince this woman of anything other than she needs more meds. Right. Jeepers. Gwen said the condition of the house is poor and is making me uncomfortable. Yeah, no doubt. God almighty.
Assuming.
That she was taken. Not that anyone that I know has done something to her, because I feel like nobody I know would do something to her, would hurt her, would murder her, anything like that. I feel like, shoot.
The man that's been raping your child since she was 6, 7 years old would not murder her, would not hurt her. Like, what do you think? Do you think that all of those things did not hurt Maddie? Emotionally, physically, even spiritually? Like, what?
I just wonder if we're, like, I know the sexual acts happen, but I wonder if that's just completely separate to her actually going missing and.
Ma'am.
Just don't know. I don't know what to think.
You don't think Stefan has anything to do with her going missing?
I feel like he would. Why?
I'm just asking.
I don't feel like he would.
No, I know. But I'm just trying to figure out, like.
Because you knew what he was doing, in my opinion, in my speculation, because you knew what he was doing. It was accepted that he was abusing her in that way because somehow he convinced you that the CSAM was okay, and you thought that he loved her so much that he would never commit homicide. Yeah, she said, I know the sexual acts happened. Now, I mean, I can't say that she's saying I know, like, because she was just hit with the evidence that it happened. So she could be saying it in reference to that. I think she's saying it in reference to I know and I've known the whole damn time. But to be fair, she could be referencing the fact that they just showed her the picture.
What would be the reason? Where would he take her? There's nowhere I can think that he could take her. That I hadn't heard of or known about or would be familiar with, because if not, I would tell you, shoot, okay, she could be here, she could be here, she could be here. There's nowhere I can think of.
Who does he know that lives in St. Cloud? You know where St. Cloud is.
I do know where St. Cloud is. Does he know anyone in St. Cloud?
Him or you?
I know people in St. Cloud.
Where do they live?
I haven't seen him in a long while though. But one person lives close to Harmony.
Okay.
So driving all the way down St. Cloud, passing St. Cloud a little bit. Mm-hmm. One person lives in St. Cloud, like off of Old Canoe Creek Road.
Okay.
Anyone he knows, I can't think of anyone that he would know.
Another good point, Annabelle. Yet she saw Maddie deceased in his car too. The cops showed her a picture, and she said something like, the cop even had to say, does she look like she's sleeping to you? And then Jen's like, oh no, I guess not. Oh, I guess not. I guess you caught me in the lie of me trying to cover for Stefan, even though he murdered my only child. I guess not. I guess I have to admit that she doesn't look like she's sleeping right now because you called me on my bullshit.
Stefan ever went with you to visit any of your friends in St. Cloud?
In my opinion.
So you're not sure, does he know anybody in St. Cloud?
I'm not sure if he knows anyone in St. Cloud. I know that he dated or was sleeping with.
Yep. John B.
This is technically Kissimmee off of Michigan. That's technically Kissimmee. So now it's in St. Cloud.
Let me ask you this. Now I'm going to get a little bit more in depth. Why would his car be in St. Cloud Monday?
I know he was.
Because I told him to go there and put Maddie's body there because I didn't want her body to be found. But I can't tell you that because you're the police.
Going
in my opinion.
to a bunch of gaming stores, video game stores. Not maybe not video game stores, but like board game store, like where he can buy little miniatures and stuff, or he also plays a card game. Also, I think he was looking for cards that day. A card game called Lorcana.
And I'm not going to highlight that comment because it's hard to bear, but going into that as politely as I can, she did say she doesn't want to be with Stefan because it's painful. And yet you have just been told that your daughter's been being molested and raped by him for all of these freaking years, and you still ain't thought about none of that. You ain't cried, not once shed a tear, not sadness. You just got quiet as a church mouse like a child does when they get caught on their BS. When a child is lying and they don't want to tell you the truth, they get real quiet, start fidgeting with their fingers, which I'm sure she was doing if we saw the video, because she does it in the other interview where we see her on video. That's what she does. No tears, no remorse, not even a kind word, not even in any emotional change unless she's talking about Stefan.
I know he headed up, and I think he told me the shops were off of 192 somewhere. I'm not sure how far they were. I don't know if they were in St. Cloud, but I know he headed in that direction Monday while I was at the doctor's appointment. Or no, just kidding. After.
Okay. When's the last time you've been in your car in St. Cloud?
Me?
Mm-hmm.
While you look for that, did anybody else drive your car while you guys were looking for other than Stefan?
Yeah. The last time I was in St. Cloud was February 7th. I had a doctor's appointment over there.
Okay.
Boy, she knew that date right off the top of her head when she's talking about that damn doctor's appointment, her medication. She knows all that shit right off the top of her head, but yet you can't tell me what you did the night before.
Who would have been driving your car between Monday and now, other than you?
Stefan.
Okay. 3 o'clock in the morning.
If he says he was out driving around, trying to think of places to look for her.
So they just admitted. So she says that Stefan goes out the first night looking for Maddie in his car, okay? And now they ask her who would be around driving your car at 3 o'clock in the morning, and she says Stefan. So that tells me that you knew he left the apartment or the hotel that night. He went more than just at Wawa, because he's only driving your car the night that you're at the hotel, and supposedly you didn't know he left except for going to Wawa. Yet you just admitted the person driving your car at 3 o'clock in the morning was Stefan, telling me that you knew he left the hotel. You knew he was driving your car at 3 o'clock in the morning. That's what you just said. But yet to hear it in every other interview and to hear you tell it everywhere else, you only thought he went to Wawa and maybe possibly to the Target while you were at the hotel. The only time he drove her car was the night they were at the damn hotel. What else do you know?
Maybe.
You didn't go with him to look? Why?
I have to stay home and take my meds and go to sleep.
I did go with him to look because I have to stay home, take my meds, and go to sleep. I'm not looking for my only child because I have to take my meds and go to sleep. Are you, God, under the jail?
All right.
All right. That's about all they can say. Okay.
So just to be clear, your roommates or nobody else has access to your car other than him? Nobody has a key to your car other than him or you?
The only key they would have access to would be the spare that I keep on a hook by my bedroom door, and anyone can grab that. Would I think my roommates would go into my room and take it? No. But
you know damn well I want your roommates. Even though He's not supposed to drive the car for any reason, not even to take Madeline safely to the front of the school. Exactly, Jeepers.
Take the one person that would have worked with Stefan.
All right, anything else? You good?
No, for now.
Okay. Thank you so much. Once again, I apologize that you have to give the story again, but like I said, now I have to play catch up.
Am I allowed to contact anyone right now or no?
Who do you want to contact?
My sister, my mom keeps calling me.
You want to contact Stefan's dad to ask him for an attorney because that's the first phone call you make when you leave this interview.
But I'm not really sure what to say at this point.
So damn worried.
I mean, you can tell. I can't tell you what to say or what not to say. I will say that we are now taking over the investigation. So, yes, ma'am. And I'll give you my card.
Is there a case number or anything I need to?
Not yet, I don't think so. We have theirs.
Yeah.
But I don't have ours yet. But just because this is an open investigation, I would highly suggest not to share any information outside of this room. Okay.
Okay. All right. Thank you, ma'am. And I'll be back in a little bit.
This whole time she's been trying to call Stefan's dad, even admits to it, says that she's worried because he's driving in the parking lot. I've got to figure out what she's saying there. But that's the end of that interview. The whole time she's trying to call Stefan's dad, saying that she's trying to tell him where to park at and in the parking lot and all of that in front of the office. But we know that she's calling, and the first thing she does is ask about getting Stefan a lawyer. She's so worried, trying to make phone calls, trying to call people from the phone because she wants to call his dad and tell him to get him a lawyer. It's ridiculous. And then in July to say we've been through her phone line by line, thousands of hours, Stefan worked independently. Can somebody make this shit make sense to me? Because it doesn't. There's no freaking way. She knows too much. She slips up and admits to knowing too damn much. I didn't even catch everything that we got out of that interview that we didn't have out of the first one. There's a lot, but I'm going to work on that tonight and write it down. We got another interview to go over tomorrow, and we'll continue deep diving this stuff. I'm going to go. It is 5:10, and I need to cook dinner. I'm so infuriated right now. I'm so furious right now. Jeepers says she enabled her own daughter's abuse and murder even after the fact, sticks to his script and covers for him. Compares Maddie and him like their blood and blames her for leaving her phone. Yeah. And for everything. Even the Woody Allen comment. She starts to say Maddie was doing, she says something to reference that Maddie did something first and then changes it to the stepdad abusing the daughter or whatever. You think he was giving her substances? I think it's a possibility if we're just speculating. Thank you all for being here today. Thank you for the support. Please hit the thumbs up on your way out. I love you all. Please know you are important. You are loved. You are special. Give your babies a hug and a kiss. Love on the fur babies. I love having y'all in chat. I love your thoughts, opinions, and speculations. I really enjoy our time together and talking about these things with you guys. I hope to see you tomorrow. If I don't, I hope you have a good day at work. And we'll continue this tomorrow. Have a good night. Stay safe. See you then. Bye.
Listen up, I gotta tell you, there is something you should know.